6 hours ago, it was snowing sideways, but now it's clear and very cold as Invesco Field in Denver fills up for Sunday Night Football.
The biggest stars in the game are here tonight.
It's NBC's Sunday Night Football.
This is the game.
All right, Sunday night, where are you? Just kicking back from the things that you do. You want the big game, we want it too. Hey, Jack, it's a fact, the show's back in town. Steelers and the Broncos going 15 around. The stadium's rocking, time to crank up the sound. The NFL's best have come to play. For every fan, there's just one thing left to say. I've been waiting all day for Sunday night to come in a rush in the primetime fight. The last one standing gets to turn out the light, 'cause I've been waiting all day for Sunday night.
Roethlisberger to the end zone and for the touchdown.
He's putting on a show tonight, isn't he?
Still on his feet. How do you like that?
Jay Cutler needed a play, and he dug down and got it.
Wow.
Sunday night football on NBC. Al and John are the best on TV. Players already kicked up all off the tee, 'cause the NFL runs on NBC.
It is 37 degrees and clear in Denver's the Broncos trying to regain some of their mile-high mystique. Come out onto the playing surface at Invesco Field at Mile High, ready to take on rookie head coach Mike Tomlin and his Pittsburgh Steelers on NBC's Sunday Night Football. Al Michaels along with John Madden, Andrew Kramer, welcome to Denver, where the Pittsburgh Steelers come in off a bye week. Before that, they knocked off Seattle 21-0. They have a mark of 4-1, and while people aren't talking about the Steelers just yet in terms of the Patriots or the Colts, so far so good for the brand new regime. Denver, meanwhile, with a record of 2-3, they could be 0-5. They got lucky to win the 2 games that they did. Injuries, a lot of roster upheaval over the past calendar year, but still before the season, John, almost everybody around the sport thought the Broncos would be a contending team, yet here they are losing their mile-high mystique. Loses of 3 in a row. What are the Broncos right now?
Well, you know, Mike Shanahan said that they had to take a step backward to go forward, and you wonder when they're going to go forward, because they have taken that step backward. Their defense hasn't played well. They can't stop the run. They can't get off the field on 3rd down. They're going to play tonight without Champ Bailey. Their special teams haven't played well, so they don't have good field position. Offensively, they haven't gotten big chunks, big chunks of yardage, big plays in their offense. And those are the things that Mike Shanahan says we have to do, we have to correct, we have to fix. And he thinks that they did during their bye week, and they should be ready to pop out tonight.
Mike's been here a long time, and speaking of a long time, Chuck Noll, 23 years at Pittsburgh. Bill Cowher, 15 before he steps aside. Then out of nowhere comes Mike Tomlin at the age of 35. Your assessment of the job he's done to this point?
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Mike Tomlin as a guy, as a coach, as a man, and, what he's doing. And I think you say, what has he done? And I think it's status quo, and not status quo from last year, but status quo from 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl. This Steeler team reminds me more of that team than the Steeler team of last year. I mean, they have a big, strong offensive line, good running game, good defense, good special teams, good tacklers, all those things, the real whole package.
And on top of that, Ben Roethlisberger is also playing very well. He is off to a good start. So is fast Willie Parker out of the backfield. Pittsburgh and Denver on Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football is brought to you by GE, Imagination at Work. By Yellow Book. Wherever you look, Yellow Book. For more information, call 1-800-YB-YELLOW. And by Chevy, an American Revolution. Spanish audio provided by Telemundo.
We need more customers. So, what? Advertise?
Ask the ad guru.
The first path, Yellow Book.
Excellent. Yellow Book. But what about the internet?
The second path, yellowbook.com.
What if people look on search engines?
The third path, trust Yellow Book to place your ad on powerful search engines across the internet. The path begins with Yellow Book.
Business is off the charts.
Wherever you look, Yellow Book.
Now what's wrong?
They printed these in color.
So?
She's gonna flip.
No, man, it's a Xerox work center. Prints color for pennies a page.
Color's good, presentation's good. I'm shocked.
Glad you like it, sir. You are shocked? Really? Because we're shocked. Shocked you even get it, pal. Dave, what are you doing here?
Came to fix the mute button. Bye-bye bonus.
Following presentation of the National Football League.
Moments to the kickoff. Pittsburgh and Denver. John mentioned Champ Bailey will not be playing for the Denver Broncos tonight. A huge loss. More on that as we go to the field. And Andrea Kramer. Andrea.
Hello, Al. Yeah, as if the struggling Bronco defense needed that. The 7-time Pro Bowl corner out tonight with a quad injury. He told me he still needs more time to heal and didn't want to set himself back anymore. He said the cold weather tonight certainly doesn't help. Now, I spoke to Hines Ward, and he told me that they may expect to use more 4 wide receiver sets tonight, and Dominique Foxworth will get the starting place of Champ. Steelers offensive coordinator Bruce Arians told me they certainly won't be as cautious with him in there.
And Hines Ward himself comes back off an injury. He had a knee sprain. He missed the last 2 games. So Ward comes back, won't have to face Bailey. And back to receive is Allen Rossum, who will run the kickback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Todd Sauerbrunn, who is their punter and kickoff man. Jason Elam is still their place kicker. Elam in his 15th year. Sauerbrunn has been around as well, 13 years from West Virginia. And he will put it into the cold night air. But it was snowing. Big storm this morning. Field was covered. Field is in good shape. It's windy though tonight. Here we go from the Mile High City with a bouncing ball that will not make it to the end zone. It goes out of bounds at about the 2, meaning that the Steelers will take over at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, you're talking about how cold it is, and it looked like he kicked a brick there, didn't it?
It did. Hard and slick. The big matchup tonight, or missed matchup, when you take a look at these numbers, the Steelers are averaging 167 yards per game on the ground, and the Broncos have the worst rushing defense in the league, giving up 188. So it's pretty clear what Denver had to work on during the bye week. Stop the run.
And that's exactly what they worked on, and they're going to play a lot more 8-man fronts, and you can see it right here on this first down. Get that safety up there.
And they start with a play fake. Roethlisberger rolls out of the pocket and then throws incomplete. John Lynch with the coverage on Santonio Holmes as we take a look at the Pittsburgh starters.
Ben Roethlisberger, Miami University.
Willie Parker, Clinton High School. Kerry Davis, Illinois.
Hines Ward, Georgia. Santonio Holmes, the Ohio State University.
Heath Miller, Virginia.
Marvell Smith, Arizona State.
Alan Faneca, the LSU. Sean Mahan, Notre Dame.
Kendall Simmons, the Auburn Tigers.
Willie Flo, Hofstra University.
Mahan came over from Tampa Bay in the offseason, taking the place of the retired Jeff Harding. 2nd down and 10. They empty the backfield, and Roethlisberger to throw. He sets up the screen. It's a tight end screen with a flag. That's Heath Miller. Heath Miller off to a good start, leading the team with 17 receptions. Bill Carollo is the referee tonight to tell us about the infraction. Ineligible receiver downfield.
You know, didn't you know that the Steelers would come out throwing the ball, play action pass during the week? Ben Roethlisberger said the biggest play is going to be the handoff, and if I'm going to throw the ball, I have to do it in a pregame warm-up. Didn't you know they weren't?
Number 61, ineligible, illegally downfield. That penalty is declined.
Sean Mahan. You know, John, it reminds me of the AFC Championship game here in January of '06. where the Broncos were heavily favored to go to the Super Bowl. Everybody said, well, Pittsburgh will have to beat on the ground, and Roethlisberger had a great day through the air.
Right, and this is a big down. I mean, it's a big down for the Steelers, but it's a lot bigger down for the Bronco defense because the #1 area that they really worry about is third down. Playing well on third down and getting off the field. The Steelers have 4 wide receivers in there now.
3rd and 7 out of the shotgun. Roethlisberger pulled down a slightly high snap and then floats one that is caught deep downfield by Nate Washington. Nick Ferguson, the safety, was right there with him. The ball hung in the air, but it gets there in time, and they pick up a 40-yard gain on a 3rd and 7.
And that's what's been killing them all year. You see the Broncos know they have to do something about it. They want to put pressure on them, so they come with the blitz. They don't get there, then this is going to happen on the other end. Nick Ferguson has to play man-to-man on a wide receiver. Ben Roethlisberger finds him, and boom, hits him.
From the 17. Yet to run the ball. That won't last much longer. And here is Parker. Willie Parker for a gain of 1. Let's take a look at the Denver D.
John Engelberger, Virginia Tech.
Sam Adams, Houston Cypress Creek.
Marcus Thomas, Florida. Elvis Dumerville, University of Louisville.
Nate Webster, the U.
DJ Williams, the U.
Diego, University of Michigan.
Dominique Foxworth, Maryland.
Nick Ferguson, Georgia Tech.
John Lynch, Stanford.
Dre Bly, North Carolina Tar Heels.
Now it's 2nd down and 9. Again, the shotgun. Again, you've got 4 wides with Champ Bailey not to be worried about. Inactive tonight. Miller goes in motion, works out of the slot. Pass to Ward on the outside. Miller throws a nice block. And Ward, coming back after missing 2 games with that knee sprain, takes it to the 11. Tackled by DJ Williams. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
You know, you just had the feeling the Steelers were going to do that, use a lot of 3 or 4 wide receivers, spread them out, because when you lose your best corner, then your 3rd best corner has to start. And then if you put 3 wide receivers, you get to the 4th best corner, 4 wide receivers to the 5th best corner, and so on. And eventually, you get some great matchups.
Ball is spotted at the 11, making it 3rd down and 4. 2 tight ends in. Roethlisberger empties the backfield. And then throws, and it's Miller making the catch on the slant after Ben started to move toward the line of scrimmage, and that's a 1st down. So they've converted both 3rd downs here. Ferguson makes the tackle, and it's 1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
And then the Broncos still can't get off the field on 3rd down, but this is what Ben Roethlisberger does so well, is gets back in the pocket, reads, moves a little, but as he's moving, he continues to look upfield. You see, and he continues to look and try and make that throw, and he makes so many big plays like that. It's amazing.
Parker is the tailback. He has Terry Davis as the fullback in front of him. And they give it to Parker, and really will take it to about the 1.5-yard line. Parker, before the bye week, was the leading rusher in the National Football League, so he's in contention for the rushing title. That was John Lynch coming up. Lynch now in his 15th year to make the tackle on Parker, who comes out of the game in this set.
And in comes Najee Davenport, and you know that's the type of thing we're talking to Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator, and he says, you know, when we take Parker out, he said, we don't lose anything. He said we gain a little in Najee Davenport size.
Timeout is taken here. 2nd and goal when we come back.
Time for the coin toss. Visiting team, call it in the air. Want a good, clean game. We're all professionals here.
You can change for goal.
Want to get away?
Now you can. Get your game on with Southwest Airlines and Visa. Go to Southwest.com and use your Visa card to tackle fares from $49 to $109. There's no better way to be in the game. Suit up and purchase by October 29th.
The dream is still alive. Someday it will come true. And this country, it belongs to folks like me and you. So let the voice of freedom sing out through this land. This is our country.
Chevy Silverado. This is our
fly tastes as cold as the Rockies?
You must think I'm dumb.
No, Coach, no, it's just that some people don't know the Rockies are cold.
Would they be someone that you would think would know anything?
No.
Hey, Coach, you ever consider changing your nickname from...
Your own company plane. By Chevy and American Revolution. By Sprint, the official telecommunications service sponsor of the NFL. This is the NFL at Sprint Speed. And by Coors Light, cold activated bottle. When the mountains turn blue, your beer is cold. The mountains are blue, your beer is cold, and right now the Broncos are faced with a situation where they've given up 2 third downs conversions. 2nd down and goal here. Najee Davenport is the running back. Davenport has scored 3 of their 4 rushing touchdowns this season.
And Max Starks is in there as an extra tight end. Remember, he was the starting right tackle. He was beaten out this year by Willie Colon.
Second and goal. The fake to Davenport. Roethlisberger rolls, throws, and the catch is made for the touchdown by Heath Miller. Heath Miller, their #1 choice in 2005 out of the University of Virginia. As we said, he's leading the team in receptions, and he caught 3 on this drive.
Yeah, Denver's playing run real hard, and this is a perfect pass. Now watch Heath Miller. He's right here. He's going to block, and then come off late. And just as he comes off, he's wide open. But it was a good play fake to the left, bootleg to the right. Good job by Heath Miller.
Roethlisberger 5 out of 6 for 56 yards. The big play was the 40-yarder on 3rd and 7 to Nate Washington. Now the extra point by Jeff Reed is good. The Steelers have the ball for 4 minutes. 8 plays. 60 yards. 7-0 Pittsburgh. Phenomenon. It premieres Wednesday, 8 Eastern, Pacific, 7 Central, and Mountain here on NBC. And here we are in the Mountain Time Zone. Mike Tomlin's team has marched down the field to take a quick 7-0 lead. Jeff Reed to kick off, and Selden Young, a rookie, the backup running back, to Travis Henry for the Broncos from the 9-yard line. Coming straight up the middle. And a nice run back up to the 31. Let's take a look at the Denver offensive starters.
Jay Cutler, Vanderbilt. Travis Henry, the real UT, Tennessee.
Cecil the Diesel South, Miami Palmetto Senior High.
Brandon Marshall, wide receiver University, UCF.
Brandon Stokely, Louisiana Lafayette.
Daniel Graham, Colorado.
Matt Lepsis, University of Colorado.
Chris Cooper, North Dakota Fighting Sioux.
Chris Myers, B, University of Miami.
Montre Holland, B, Florida State.
Eric Pierce, Colorado State.
A lot of changes offensively, in particular at center. And then the first pass was a little miscommunication as Brandon Marshall had a look behind him, covered there by Ike Taylor. So the Broncos get off to a stuttering offensive start. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that was one of those option things. You know, if he's up tight, then you're going to go beyond him. And if he's off, you're going to get that quick pass. Jay Cutler read it one way. Brandon Marshall read it a different way.
2nd and 10. Among the injuries that the Broncos are sustaining right now, Javon Walker had knee surgery. Could come back before the season is done, but right now he is recovering. So their leading receiver is out. Cutler on 2nd and 10. Throwing and getting open is Tony Scheffler. And what a difference he can make. The tight end, they love him. They're just waiting for him to stay healthy. 2nd year out of Western Michigan, and he got free over the middle for a 26-yard pickup.
You know, Jay Cutler was saying that the other day. He said, I think Tony Scheffler can give us some big plays up the middle. And you're going to see that he does right here. If he can get on a linebacker and run a deep pass, as he did there against James Harrison, he can have a big night.
Coming back off a broken foot. 1st down and 10 at the 43-yard line. They toss it now to Henry. And Henry in his first year after starting his career with Buffalo and Tennessee to the 39. Let's take a look at the Steeler D.
Aaron Smith, Northern Colorado.
Casey Hampton, Texas.
Brett Kiesel, BYU. Clark Higgins, Colorado State. James Ferrier, Virginia.
Larry Foote, Detroit Pershing, Doughboys.
James Harrison, Kent State.
Ike Taylor, Swaggin.
Troy Polamalu, Southern California.
Ryan Clark, Louisiana. Deshae Townsend, Alabama.
I once went to the campus of Swaggin, John. It's a great place.
Did you graduate from there,
no,
or just went there?
I just went for a couple of years. 2nd and 6, and the catch was made for a first down by Brandon Stokely, the former Indianapolis Colt, in his first year with the Denver Broncos. He works out of the slot with tremendous effectiveness, gain of 12.
Yeah, we were talking about Ben Roethlisberger moving in the pocket. Jay Cutler moves well, too. Here it looks like it was a little bootleg, maybe, or maybe he just missed the handoff and it ended up in a bootleg. That has always been a big part of this Denver Bronco offense.
From the 27 now on first down. Cutler swings it to the outside, and that's Scheffler again making the catch to the 25. Tackled by Ike Taylor. Well, Mike Tomlin was the defensive coordinator at Minnesota, and defensively, take a look at what the Steelers have done thus far. Best in the league in yards per game, and 9.4 points per game against them, so they've been the stingiest in the league. And of course, Dick LeBeau stayed the 70-year-old defensive coordinator. He and Tomlin forming a very potent 1-2 punch on that side of the ball, at least through the latter part of October, as Henry now finds some room. And Henry takes it for a first down as he crosses the 17-yard line. Montre Holland, the right guard, got out to lead the way for him.
Yeah, good job by Holland. I mean, that's the thing where a back has to be patient when a guard's going to pull, and you have to let him get up, and you have to let him get through. Here's Holland here. Watch him pull there, and Henry gets right in behind him, lets him make the block, and then cuts off it. I tell you, Henry's one of those guys that has moves on moves in the hole.
From the 16-yard line, Henry. You never make too much of a first drive of a game, but consider a couple of things here with the Broncos. Losers of 3 in a row, going against the Steelers. The Steelers go down the field. The Broncos come off their worst home loss in 41 years. For a first drive of a game, this is pretty big. It's bigger than it normally would be.
You're right, and you think that, someplace in here, pride has to play a part. I mean, this is a team and an organization and a city that, has a great deal of pride, and they're not just going to put up with being a bad team.
Henry to the outside. Tries to turn it back, but the Steelers swarm him. Persky is there, Hampton among others, in on the tackle. So it'll be 3rd down and 8 now for the Broncos on their opening drive.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised there that they didn't try the bootleg. That's we talked about kind of a staple of Mike Shanahan's offense is you fake the run one way, the quarterback bootlegs the other way with a crossing receiver. That would have been a pretty good down for it. You can't do that on 3rd down. This is a true drop back passing down.
3rd and 8. They take Henry out of the game. They go into the shotgun. They have Sullivan Young, the rookie, flanking him to the right. They stack receivers to the right. Cutler on the move, throwing, caught, touchdown. Brandon Stokely. He got inside Ike Taylor, got position on him, and takes it in for the score.
That was an interesting defense. The Steelers had 2 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, 6 defensive backs. And you see Stokely, the inside receiver, he has such great moves and quickness. He is a perfect guy to play the slot. In fact, Mike Shanahan said the other day that Stokely is the best slot guy that he has ever seen or he's ever coached.
2 catches for him on the drive, a touchdown from 14 yards away on a 3rd and 8. Extra point is good by Jason Elam. So the Steelers go down the field and score. And the Broncos answer immediately. 6:17 remaining in the opening period. 7-7 in Denver.
Yes, I want to be in that number. I will
Visa makes it easier for NFL fans to get ready for game day. Life takes Visa.
Champ Bailey and Ben Roethlisberger are leading the charge for volunteering with USA Weekend's Make a Difference Day on October 27th. To find out more, go to usaweekend.com.
No Sunday Night Football next week. We have the week off. Football night, though, will be on at 7 Eastern time. Our next game 2 weeks from tonight. The Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football. And again, coverage that night begins at 7 Eastern and 4 o'clock Pacific time. Well, the last time Sauerbrunn kicked off, he kicked it out of bounds, and that gave Pittsburgh a start at their own 40. They went 60 yards. And his next kickoff, a lot better. A yard into the end zone. Allen Rawson takes it there and gets whacked at the 22-yard line, and that's the kind of hit Jamie Winborn made it that gets 70,000 voices in full throat.
And it's one of the areas that Mike Shanahan and the Broncos were concerned about, their special teams, and this helps it come alive.
That's a boom.
Changing, yeah, everything's changing. But I'm through with all this changing. I like the way I'm living, and I got my reasons why. And I'm not gonna go changing, no. I'm not
Coors, the banquet beer.
Soon, there will be a car you can't ignore. The all-new Chevy Malibu.
Monopoly is back at McDonald's.
All right, y'all, here's the plan. Son, I need you to go 2 blocks, shake left, then hit the McDonald's on the right. Got it? Gotcha. Baby girl, I need you to run a double arch route.
People all over have started their game plan. With almost $200 million in cash and prizes and a guaranteed bonus piece on large fries and other favorites. Game's on.
Honey, you go deep. I'm talking McDonald's downtown.
Hey, what about me?
Take your hat off to a legend, son.
Soon, there will be a car you can't ignore. The all-new Chevy Malibu.
For Chuck Bartowski, being a spy isn't easy.
If you're seeing this, you might want to run.
You think? Being a good one is even harder.
The idea behind a stakeout is to remain inconspicuous.
Somebody order sizzling shrimp?
I'll take that.
You moron.
Chuck, tomorrow on NBC.
John Elway here tonight, and you don't end careers any more magnificently than the way he did, with back-to-back Super Bowl titles following the 97 and 98 seasons. John, still living in Denver, entrepreneur, went to his restaurant last night. That was very good.
Right, and then last night I saw in the news that his son Jack, also a quarterback, just signed a letter of intent with Arizona State.
Will be a Sun Devil from the 22-yard line. Here is Parker, and Willie Parker takes it up to the 29-yard line. Winborn with that big hit. Let's take a peek.
You know, let's just watch the way you run down. I mean, to get there to make the hit, you have to go through quite a bit of stuff. I mean, there's one block that he makes miss. He kind of weaves his way through, finds it, so that he can come up with that boom, as you say, at the end. You know, it's one thing finishing off, but getting down there to get in position to do that can sometimes be difficult.
I just borrowed that boom, you know. Second and 3 from the 29. Roethlisberger throws high, and it's almost picked off. Dre Bly, the former Ram and Lion who came here in a trade in the offseason, had a near pick.
So much for that deal about we're going to run the ball and bad run defense. So you see Dre Bly, he plays that vision technique where he's looking in at the quarterback, but also seeing the receiver. And that's what it allows him to do with that technique. It's a tough technique because you can get pump fake, but he looks in and then he's able to jump a slant or an inside route like that.
5 receivers set here. As Roethlisberger out of the backfield throws incomplete, intended for Hines Ward. And it's a 3-and-out for the Bronco defense.
John Lynch is running off the field like crazy here because they know that too. You know, you say can't get off the field on third down. Third down defense isn't any good. They finally stop him, and John Lynch just sprinted off the field.
Daniel Sepulveda, who was the best kicker in college the last 2 years, so good, in fact, a 4th-round draft choice was spent on him, and he's been off to a good start. Rookie out of Baylor. And his first kick at 5,280 feet is a line drive, fair caught at the 26-yard line by Glenn Martinez. Denver ball, 7-7, 5:18 to the end of the period.
Bring your favorite team home with Glidden Team Colors paint. The true colors of true fans. Team Colors paint, exclusively from Glidden and only at the Home Depot.
This is the gel that got America gelling. Now Dr. Scholl's has put 2 amazing gels together to create an insole that's soft and supportive for outrageous comfort. The new improved massaging gel insole. Dr. Scholl's. Gelin'.
I used to think it didn't matter what deodorant I chose. Dumb. This test shows that Old Spice is the right choice. Take the Old Spice challenge. I did.
We were departing Chicago en route to Newark, New Jersey. We were told we were going to have a 3-hour delay. 3 hours for an hour and 41-minute flight. And as we were sitting there with our engine shut down, I turned on my iPhone and went to weather.com, and I saw that the rain showers had already passed the field, at which point we contacted our dispatcher, and dispatch took another look at the weather, and sure enough, about 30 minutes later, Tower called us and said, "You guys are clear to go." Everybody was happy and life was good.
He woke up on a strange continent. She has been sent to hunt him. Tomorrow, Kristen Bell joins heroes, and the showdown begins. All new heroes tomorrow on NBC.
The Broncos honoring a couple of fallen teammates. Darren Williams was shot and killed early New Year's morning here in Denver, and then Damian Nash died of a heart-related ailment last March. And before the game, Rosalind Williams on the right, the mother of Darren Williams, and Judy Nash, the widow of Damian Nash, came out onto the field as they honor Darren Williams, who was a starting corner and a really good one. Damian Nash was a backup running back, and both of those guys had big nights here on Sunday Night Football last December. Bill Carollo will whistle a stop to the play before it starts.
Ball start, 78, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Speaking of their 2 fallen teammates, this was John Lynch as the team was ready to come out onto the field before the game.
Most importantly, we got 2 teammates that are here with us. We're honoring them now. Honor them with your play today. Honor them with the way you play the game. That's the best thing we can do today. Let's do that. Dominate on 2.
Talking about Darren Williams and Damian Nash before the game, and now the Broncos who move down the field for a tying touchdown. Give the ball here to Travis Henry, and Henry picks up about 3 to make it 2nd and 12.
I tell you, it's tough to run against this Steeler defense, especially when safety Troy Polamalu is up there, because he's a guy that, you know, plays like a safety. He can play corner. He plays like a linebacker. Great tackler. And to me, he's one of the great players in the NFL. I mean, he can play back, he can play up, he's tough, he's a good tackler, and he does all those things.
2nd and 12. And Cutler under pressure throws, and the pass is incomplete. The coverage is very good. Intended there for Brandon Stokely. Deshae Townsend with the coverage on the play. Jay Cutler picked in the draft last year out of Vanderbilt as the quarterback of the future, and the future happened earlier than a lot of people thought when he supplanted Jake Plummer with the team 7-4 last year. Hometown, that's right, Santa Claus, Indiana, played at Vanderbilt, and he is now the man. 6'3", 233 with a tremendous arm.
Yeah, he probably, if you would just measure velocity, he probably has the strongest arm of any quarterback in the NFL.
3rd and 12. The deep drop here. Good protection. And he shows off that strong arm with a strike to Brandon Stokely up at the 39. So Stokely, who caught 2 balls, including one for a touchdown, has his 3rd catch of the night. That's good for 16 and a first down.
He's one of those guys that the ball doesn't stay in the air very long, and he doesn't need big windows. He can hold the ball a little longer, but he sees it. I mean, once he sees it, that ball is coming out there quickly and with a lot of velocity on it.
1st and 10 at the 40. Cutler off to a good start. What about Henry? Henry picks up about 3 up to the 43, under 4 minutes to go, and the ball came loose. And when you see that beanbag down, you know that it's a fumble. Bill Carollo comes in and says the fumble was recovered by Denver. They retain possession. 2nd and 6, and we go to Andrea.
Well, defensive end Aaron Smith, one of the most underrated of the stellar Steelers defenders, has ice on his left knee. They're calling his return questionable. He's got his helmet in his hand, and at the change of possession, he tried to go back on the field. Dick LeBeau gave him a hug, and he just stayed put.
You get a hug, you stay put, and you're replaced by Nick Eason.
And you can tell by the way he's limping there that Aaron Smith probably won't be back in, but he's missed because he's a big part of this Steeler defense.
2nd and 6, and Cutler gets it away before he gets racked. Intended for Glenn Martinez, 2nd-year receiver out of Saginaw Valley State, who's going to see a little bit more action tonight in the absence of Javon Walker. He'll get to play a little bit more. A guy who actually went to camp with the Steelers in 04 and was a late cut.
And we were just talking about Aaron Smith going out of the game. The guy that came in for him, Nick Eason, is the guy that put the pressure on Jay Cutler on that last pass.
So there is Aaron Smith, a Pro Bowl defensive end, coming home in a way, played his college ball in Colorado at Northern Colorado. 3rd down and 6. Blitz coming from Cutler's right. Good job protecting him, and then Scheffler breaks out of the first would-be tackle, but not the second, and will be short of the first down.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, you can spread them out like the Broncos did then, and you can find guys open, but you either have to hit them beyond the first down mark, or, you know, they're probably not going to get a first down, because one thing, this Steeler team is a great tackling team. They have no guests. I mean, their corners are good tacklers, their safeties, their linebackers, everyone is a good tackler. So it's going to be one of those games that's going to be hard to catch the ball and then gain yardage by missed tackles.
Good tackling, a Steeler hallmark for a lot of years. The Sauerbrun's kick. Bearcats is called for, and then letting it bounce is Rawson, and it goes out of bounds at the 12-yard line. 2:44. You know, you think of the Steelers, and they talk about, you know, the blue-collar ethic and all of that and how the town loves them. We know that for sure. Bill Cowher, his defense, in the years that he coached the team from 92 through 06, the best in the league over that period. And the offense, the best in rushing. So you've got that formula for success, rushing and defense, and that's been the formula for success this year.
Right, and that was Chuck Noll's formula for success, and it was Bill Cowher's and Mike Thomas. That's Steeler football. Run the ball, stop the run, play good special teams.
From the 12-yard line, the pass to the outside is caught by Santonio Holmes. And he's up to the 16-yard line. And, you know, if you follow football, you know about it. But if you forgot about what happened, I mean, everybody was shocked. You had Noll and you had Cowher. And the Rooney family's owned the team forever. And everybody said, well, they're going to stay inside. And Ken Wisenhunt was a logical choice. If not him, Russ Grimm. Neither of those guys got the job. They both go to Arizona. And out of nowhere comes Tomlin.
Right, and all the players thought the same thing. You know, that they'd either be playing for Wisenhunt or Russ Grimm. And then, you know, they were all shocked. And, you know, it took a while for them to adjust because they thought, well, it would be the same with the same guys. And it wasn't.
Now Roethlisberger, he's going to air it out off the play fake into double coverage, and it will be intercepted. Intended for Santonio Holmes and picked off by Dre Bly. And Bly is shaken at the end of the play, but he holds on for the pick.
Yeah, I don't know that Dre Bly wasn't so shaken that he couldn't return that ball. I don't know that he was down by contact, but He looked like he was down by an injury.
What a play by Bly, but now the other corner is hurt.
He could have gotten up.
Are these numbers right? Yes. Do you know what this means? It means we have doubled in the last 6 months. It means we're going to have to hire more people, move into a bigger space to get those key card things. We'll need to order a lot more wood. What if this continues?
David, isn't that kind of the idea?
Citibank Business Banking. Whatever your growing business needs, Citibank's there with guidance and customized solutions to help your business thrive. Come to Citi and let's get it done.
Monopoly's back at McDonald's.
All right, y'all, here's the plan. Son, I need you to go 2 blocks, shake left, then hit the McDonald's on the right. Got it? Gotcha. Baby girl, I need you to run a double arch route.
People all over have started their game plan with almost $200 million in cash and prizes and a guaranteed bonus piece on large fries and other favorites. Game's on.
Honey, you go deep. I'm talking McDonald's downtown.
Hey, what about me?
Take your hat off to a legend, son.
Did you know Santa had a brother?
Come on, let's loosen it up in here. Let's make some bad decisions with each other.
Have I? This holiday season, share the warmth. Experience the wonder.
Can I get a ho-ho?
Holy cow. And embrace the brother.
I'm going to practice tough love on you.
Of all family comedies.
What kind of party are you dudes throwing?
Vince Vaughn, Paul Giamatti, Fred Claus.
You sure you wouldn't be more comfortable down here on the bottom?
I don't think it's going to make much of a difference.
Rated PG. Starts November 9th.
Trey Bly just made a great pick, but remember, Champ Bailey is already out of the game. Now when you're looking at Bly as they work on him, you have to question whether he'll be back. But here we go back to the interception. A great job by Bly.
And you see that shoulder injury when he fell on his shoulder must have been such a shock to him. Watch him here as he goes down. He could have gotten up with and run with that ball. No one ever touched him. He could have handed it off. He could have done anything. But I think there was so much pain right there that he couldn't even think of running or lateraling the ball. Like that, he just given it to Nick Ferguson there. They could have had a play. When you hit on your shoulder like that, I guess you don't think of those kinds of things, do you?
He just nodded as if to say he's all right, but we'll see the next time they're on defense. Meanwhile, Cutler takes over at the 37. And this is Travis Henry with some good hard running through the middle. Travis Henry is another guy who gets plugged into the system. If he gains 1,000 yards this year, he'll be the 7th runner, the 7th different guy in the last 10 years to gain 1,000 yards behind this system. And we've talked about it for years, the light, quick, fast offensive linemen, but different linemen right now, John.
Right, and different backs all the time. Why can't the Broncos keep it back? And it seems like there's always, every year is a different featured back.
2nd and 4. Cutler throwing, that's caught. Stokely, good spin move, gets tackled. Well, they kept Terrell Davis for a lot of years, and then his career ended prematurely with the injury. Then Gary came in, and Mike Anderson. Then they had Portis, and they traded Portis for Bailey. Then Drones came in. Then Mike Anderson came back and gained 1,000. Last year, Tatum Bell, he gets traded to Detroit, and now you've got Henry. And the only question they have with Henry right now, since he's in a little bit of legal limbo because of it allegedly failing a drug test for marijuana. We'll get to that in a little while, but he'll at least play for the next couple of weeks. Butler under pressure, throws, caught. Brian Clark makes the catch. Clark, second-year guy out of North Carolina State, tackled there by Higgins with under a half minute to play.
That was a heck of a job by Jay Cutler to get rid of that ball. You know, I mean, he thought he was going to fake something. The Steelers come on an inside blitz. You see the double blitz inside. They get free. So Cutler was going to the left and had to throw back to the right with a blitz coming in his face.
Broncos won't run another play. That'll take us to the end of a very entertaining first quarter. In Denver, Pittsburgh 7, Denver 7. And Sunday Night Football resumes after these messages. The headlines of the day: Barrel Man, a fixture here for years in Denver. He doesn't care that it's 35 degrees. We do.
No, you always wonder what Barrel Man has under the barrel, but when when it's this cold, you see that he doesn't have anything on top, and you wonder, how the heck does he handle that?
I have an idea. 2nd and 3. Cutler going for the end zone into double coverage, and that will be picked off in the end zone by Anthony Smith. Intended for Brandon Marshall. The coverage was perfect. Cutler airs it out, and Pittsburgh will take over at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that's one of the things about having a strong arm. You can get it in small windows, and sometimes you tend to force it in a smaller window. And there's no way that that had a chance to be a completion. I mean, you talk about double coverage. That's not only double coverage, but that is about as tight as double coverage can get.
Smith gets the pick. He was aided and assisted by Taylor. Shanahan grits his teeth as he looks at the replay. Dre Bly does come back into the game. There he is, trying to get the crowd stirred up as Pittsburgh takes over at the 20-yard line.
I would say it's his right shoulder that's injured.
He gave us a hint.
Right.
Interesting formation here as they give the ball to Parker out of the tight formation. Willie Parker, who right now has what would be the longest run in the history of the Super Bowl, so he'll have that to hang on to for as long as nobody else goes more than 75 yards. Came out of North Carolina. He was scouted by Dan Rooney's son, who's a scout, lives in North Carolina. Saw him in high school. He played at UNC, but not as much as he wanted to. Had some trouble. As he said, look, part of it was the coach's fault. Part of it was my fault. So his college career was a little less than stellar, which is part of the reason he was undrafted. But right now, he's the guy in contention for a rushing title.
Yeah, I don't know how you could not play a guy in college that has that kind of speed, or how you could not draft him.
And that kind of speed is on exhibit right there as he takes the ball across the 50 to the 49 before he is tackled by D.J. Williams. A 26-yard run for Parker.
You know, and that's where they get their big runs, is over on this side here between Alan Faneca, Marvell Smith, their two best offensive linemen. And when he gets in that open field, he has the moves. And then if he can get by that second layer, he's going to make a big run. If he can get by that third layer, he's going to outrun them all.
As he did on that run in the Super Bowl. Najee Davenport now comes into the game. Parker gets a rest. The ball is at the 49-yard line. And this is the former Packer. Davenport picks up 3 to the 46. Now, as far as Parker's concerned, think about undrafted running backs since the modern draft started in '67. Priest Holmes, now back with Kansas City, would have the most yardage for any undrafted back, 8,044. And there's Willie Parker. Of course, Priest has been around a lot longer than Parker, but if Parker continues on this career pace, he will one day own that record.
You mean like if he gains 4,000 yards tonight?
The way he's going.
Look out, Priest.
2nd down and 7 at the 46-yard line. Trying to come closer to Priest. Takes it to the 43-yard line. Tackled there by Ian Gold. It'll be 3rd and 4.
You know, that's what I've noticed in watching the Steeler film this year is the number of different ways that they run a draw. And you see this one here. Watch Ben Roethlisberger. He fakes that slant out there, then comes back and hand the draw. I've seen him, you know, roll out and hand on a roll draw. They have about 4 different ways to run a draw play.
Their offensive coordinator retained from the old staff, but he was the wide receivers coach, Bruce Arians. But he's the guy who works hand in hand now with Roethlisberger controlling that offense. 3rd down and 4 from the 43. From the gun, under pressure. Lynch blitzed and couldn't get him down. And then Roethlisberger buys time and throws incomplete. But he bought enough time that had he thrown more accurately, he would have had Hines Ward open for a long completion.
You know, Ben Roethlisberger weighs about 245 pounds now. When you blitz him like John Lynch does, he's big enough and strong enough that he just puts his left arm out there and pushes John Lynch away. Watch that. I mean, so and then he looks right back upfield to try and make a completion. That's where the Pittsburgh Steelers get a lot of big plays in the passing game.
Sepulveda puts the nose down to get backspin on the ball and sends it up in the air to the 13-yard line. Glenn Martinez makes the catch there. And Denver will take over 11:38 to the half. 7-7.
Introducing the all.
Yell at you, he's going to talk to you.
He's just really a true players coach. I mean, he really lets the players go out and be themselves.
When you make a mistake, he's going to let you know what you did, and you got to find a way to correct it.
Mike Tomlin's so young, he actually played in a college game against one of his players. James Farrier was at Virginia. He was a senior. Tomlin was in his first year at William & Mary, and they played against each other.
Tomlin remembers it. Farrier doesn't.
No recollection. From the 14, this is Henry for a gain of 3. And speaking of Farrier, he's the guy who calls the signals on the field for the defense.
Right, you know, we always look at the offensive huddle, and you see the quarterback, you know, calling offensive plays, and the defense has a huddle too. Not quite as organized as he's looking over there at the sideline to get the signal. Then he comes in and calls the defense. Now that calls the defense in front where the linebackers line up and with the secondary coverage is.
2nd down and 6. And this is Henry. Let's go back and we'll make Tomlin. Tomlin was the senior. Farrier was the freshman. Don't make Farrier any older than he is.
And then Farrier still doesn't remember playing against Tomlin.
Right. Like Farrier said, I was playing in Virginia. We weren't paying a lot of attention to playing William & Mary.
Right, and we saw Farrier make that first call on base defense. Now they have their nickel or dime package in. 2 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, 6 defensive backs.
And only 1 player with his hand on the ground. And Cutler goes to the outside, and that pass is too tall for Brandon Marshall.
I was talking to Jay Cutler about how you recognize that for pass protection and what you do, and he said you just go the bigs. I mean, and the bigs then become the linebackers, and those are the guys that you have to get blocked.
Rawson getting loosened up, hoping to be able to run a kick back off the foot of Todd Sauerbrunn. Wobbly kick, not very deep. It takes a pretty good Denver bounce and goes out of bounds at the 32-yard line. 10:08 remaining in the half. Dick LeBeau going over things with his defense. 7-7. Rockies, and they'll be in action in the World Series next week. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Pittsburgh not doing as much running as you might have suspected early in the game. DJ Williams is right there to stop Parker at the line of scrimmage.
DJ Williams is turning into a good middle linebacker. He was an outside linebacker, and then Al Wilson left, and they made a middle linebacker out of him, and he's a heck of an athlete. And if he can beat that guard, if he can beat that offensive lineman, get off those blocks, he can make a lot of tackles. When he has trouble is when those big offensive linemen get on him, he can't get off.
They let Al Wilson go, move Williams to the middle from outside. 2nd and 11, and they run a draw, and that Bronco defense tonight looking about as good as it has all season long. Jarvis Moss was their #1 draft choice out of the University of Florida. The premium was on defense in the draft because they picked Moss out of Florida, and also Marcus Thomas in the 4th round.
And then Tim Prater in the 2nd round. So they picked defensive lineman 1st round, defensive lineman 2nd round, defensive lineman 4th round. So where do you think the Broncos think they needed help?
All 3 are in there right now.
And now they have to play them all, and they're all young guys. But here's the big pass rusher right there, Dumerville.
He's only 5'11", 3rd and 14. Roethlisberger against the grain, throwing, and it is caught at the 43-yard line. And that's Santonio Holmes, who saw his quarterback in trouble, found an open spot along the sideline and makes the catch to convert.
You know, and this is again where Ben Roethlisberger makes so many big plays. Get in the shotgun, see the whole field. He'll be able to, nothing open, get out of the pocket, but still looking downfield. Now, his receivers know that, too. So they know that, okay, you know, Ben will buy time. So if he's buying time for us, we have to keep working. That's what Santonio Holmes did.
That was a 3rd and 14. It was good for 16 yards.
Look at the 8 men up there. John Lynch right up in the line of scrimmage.
2 tight ends for the Steelers. And then Ward has to reach behind to make the catch. Hines Ward, the acrobat, reaching behind the Super Bowl MVP following the 05 season, reaching behind himself to make the catch.
And that's the type of thing that Hines Ward can do. Is you can throw that ball anywhere and he's going to catch it.
Except they're now going to say one official comes in and said he didn't have possession and that was a good call. So Ward got up as if he'd made the catch. He did a pretty good job to make it look as if he did. And a challenge flag will be thrown.
I'm not sure that he still didn't. Are you?
I want to see that again. I think the ball did come out, though. This is let's take another look here as Tomlin throws the challenge flag. The ball is coming out when his butt hits the ground.
He's challenging him really on the field that it was an incomplete pass. We'll review the play.
But I think, you know, I mean, a part of the ball can hit the ground.
Right.
I think he still had control with both hands.
The rules changed a few years ago. We'll see when we come back. The decision to Carollo.
These KFC triple.
Able to control the ball because it hits the ground. Here comes Carollo. I think it will be
after reviewing the play,
an incomplete pass.
The play stands as called incomplete pass. The ball hit the ground. 2nd down. Pittsburgh is charged with timeout.
Now the ball can hit the ground. It's the old, you know, Bert Emanuel play, a distant relative of that from years ago in an NFC Championship game. But the difference is he had control of it. Emanuel did all of the way, and then they changed the rule. And Ward was losing control of it and was able to regain control of it because it hit the ground.
Right, and when it hit the ground, that gave him control of it again.
So Pittsburgh is charged with a timeout. That's their 2nd of the half. And what it means as well is that they only have one more challenge. And it's 2nd down and 10 now, up at the 44-yard line. Parker in the game behind the fullback Carey Davis.
Broncos always have a secondary guy up there in the line of scrimmage.
And this time, coming out of the backfield, and Willie Parker gets taken down. Nick Ferguson was one of the extra guys up at the line of scrimmage.
Right. He was the guy. I mean, Nick Ferguson is right up here, so they have their 4 linemen, their 3 linebackers, then that extra guy up, that 8th man. And you see Ferguson is the guy or the extra guy that comes in and makes the play. And that's what the Broncos are doing tonight. I mean, they have that extra guy. They're bringing him up, and they're blitzing. And they're doing more blitzing than they have this year.
3rd down and 9 from the 44-yard line. 4-man rush. Roethlisberger throws high, tipped and intercepted by D.J. Williams. Second pick of Roethlisberger tonight. Off the hands of Ward, into the hands of Williams. Denver ball.
Only the Nissan Titan has a Utilitrack cargo system and the longest crew cab bed in its class. You choose the tie-down point.
Yeah, we always talk about that cover 2, and in cover 2, the Mike has to get deep, and D.J. Williams is that Mike, but he starts off deep. And you watch him go, the safeties go to the outside. We can stop it right here. You see that D.J. Williams is the back guy. Ian Gold comes underneath.
And now Brandon Marshall makes the catch, reverses direction, and gains 9 yards up to the 49-yard line. Roethlisberger had been picked off only 3 times in 5 games. Last year, Ben led the league in interceptions with 23, and he's been intercepted twice tonight.
Right, and he threw right into that, you know, that soft Tampa 2 where you play cover 2, both safeties are off, Mike and both linebackers get deep, and he threw right into that. It was only a 4-man rush with 7-man coverage.
Scheffler is the man in motion on 2nd down and 1 from the 49-yard line. Here's Henry. Henry across midfield, picks up the first down. 1st and 10 for the Broncos at the Pittsburgh 46.
We're talking about the Broncos and, always having a top running back, and it's Mike Shanahan's system. I mean, it's that zone blocking that they use, and the all 5 offensive linemen work as one, and the running back just makes one cut and takes it upfield. They've been doing that so well for so many years with so many different guys. It's amazing.
Number 46. Cutler. A lot of room. 1st down and a lot more, and then he gets taken down by the helmet, and that will create a flag against Polamalu at the 15-yard line. Daniel Graham, the tight end, threw the key block on the play. A 31-yard run with the penalty to follow.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 43. The blow of the quarterback's helmet, half the distance, 1st down.
Hey, we're going to look at it from cable cam, and we'll see what Jay Cutler sees. And you can see that he's dropped back here. Then he goes out to the right. He's looking downfield. Now he decides that he's going to run. But, even when he passes a line of scrimmage, and it always works, if you pump fake, defenders will stop. I mean, he's 10 yards downfield, and he pump fakes. That helped him. And then the block of Daniel Graham helped him right there.
Before this run, his longest run in his short career had been 11 yards. Nice move, too, right hand to left hand to get it away from the pursuit.
Yeah, after he had used the right hand to pump fake.
Now they give the ball to Henry, who chugs his way down to the 1-yard line. Good, tough inside running by Travis Henry. Henry has carried the ball 11 times tonight for 44 yards.
I like the pace of this Bronco offense a lot better than the pace of the Steeler offense. I mean, it looks like, the pace is good, and they're keeping the Steeler defense a little off balance.
Cecil Sapp comes into the game at fullback, and they have 3 tight ends. So it's a tight formation on 2nd down and goal from the 1. Henry is the running back. And Henry gets taken down just short of the goal line. Larry Foote saves the touchdown at about the 6-inch line.
It all starts, with the nose tackle. When you use a 3-man line, it starts with this middle guy right here. You see, and he gets penetration in there, drives the center back, and then Larry Foote can come in and make the play. But if they're going to do anything in the running game down here, you got to get those inside guys moved.
Again, they come up tight on 3rd down and goal. Play fake. In the pass, touchdown. He goes to Cecil Sapp.
And that's not bad when you can't get those inside guys moved. Just fake that you're running it and go play action pass. Watch him here. Everyone takes the bite. Cecil Sapp, fakes like he's going to be a blocker and goes out into the flat. But watch him take the bite here on that play action fake. They all come up, and there's Cecil flat.
Elam for the point after. The touchdown after the interception of Roethlisberger. 61 yards in 6 plays. For the first time tonight, Denver has the lead.
As I said earlier, pride will play a big part.
This is Najee Davenport who goes back to take the kick up to the 28, and they come off a bye week, and before that, a big win, 21-0 over Seattle. We go to Andrea.
Well, we saw DJ Williams with that interception on the previous series. A bunch of the guys were saying to him on the sideline, screaming, the drought is over, referring to the fact that no Broncos linebacker has had an interception since 2004. That's quite a drought to end, guys.
That is a monster drought.
The Broncos are doing a good job on 1st and 2nd down. of attacking the line of scrimmage, you know, with the 8 men up, with blitzing, with those kinds of things. And then on 3rd down, playing a soft zone. You can see the 4 guys up now, the 8-man front.
Parker. And Parker finds a little crease and picks up 7 yards. Gets tackled up at the 35, tackled by Gold and Williams. Willie Parker's one of those guys. He needs red meat, no matter where it comes from. He needs people to say he's no good, he can't do it. He needs something. We were talking to him about his Super Bowl run yesterday. I said, you know, just go over the last 25 yards. You know you're going to score. He says, let me take you back to the last 40 yards. I'm thinking about the fact that Jerome Bettis, the guy he loves, was getting all of the publicity coming back to Detroit, his hometown. And he's thinking, you know what? What about me? So he makes up that red meat.
Right, and he has that speed, but he said he looked back, and I said, usually guys with speed don't look back.
And there's Miller over the middle, and he gets free off the play fake. A flag is thrown back at the 38 of Pittsburgh as Miller takes it to the Denver 38. Bill Carollo will be making the call. Mike Tomlin thinks it's against Denver, and he's saying decline it.
Ben Roethlisberger thinks it's against Denver.
Prior to the pass, holding 58 defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Nate Webster, 27-yard gain.
Nate Webster is the strong side linebacker, and he's trying to hold Heath Miller up right there. You see him grab him with his left arm, and that was the defensive holding penalty. And Roethlisberger said that, you know, Heath Miller has really helped this team because, you know, his presence in the middle of the field has helped the outside receivers get open.
Under 3 to play to the half from the 38. Roethlisberger spinning, and then he throws one at the feet of Parker because the pressure was on that time from the rookie Marcus Thomas. Speaking of Parker's Super Bowl run, Pittsburgh against Seattle in Detroit, February of '06, and here was the longest run in the history of the Super Bowl as Parker cuts inside after working to the outside and 75 yards, and they were the last 40 when he's thinking, hey, wait a second, enough of this publicity about Bettis, what about me?
Yeah, did you see him look back, though? I asked him about that. I said, usually guys nicknamed fast don't look back, and he said, I didn't think anyone was going to catch me. He said, I just wanted to look back to see when I could start to throttle down.
Low snap, Roethlisberger gets there and then loses the ball as he gets sacked, and the ball is still loose, and it is picked up by the Broncos by Tim Crowder, and the rookie out of Texas, the number 2 draft choice, will go in for the touchdown as Mile High erupts. Elvis Dumervil created the fumble. So 2 picks, and now on the blitz, a fumble, and in for the touchdown goes the rookie Crowder for a 2-touchdown Denver lead.
You know, the blitz has been big for Denver tonight. It's not something they've done a lot of, but they knew that they had to be more aggressive. They had to go after Ben Roethlisberger. They had to attack the line of scrimmage, and they've been doing that all night and coming up with big plays.
Mike Shanahan hasn't had a lot to smile about in the last month, but a big grin there as Elam boots it through. Last year when Denver went into Pittsburgh, they won the game primarily on 6 Pittsburgh turnovers. Tonight, Pittsburgh has turned it over 3 times and a half.
And you're going to see the blitz coming from the right side there. They pick it up pretty well, but they don't pick up Elvis Dumervil. And he just splits the left side of the Pittsburgh Steeler offense. Here's Elvis Dumervil. He's 92, and you see he just goes right through Marvell Smith and Alan Faneca right into Ben Roethlisberger. So sometimes the blitz will get there, but sometimes the blitz will help someone else get there, as it did there with Elvis Dumervil.
Crowder goes 50 yards with the fumble return, and a 2.5 to play in the half. A 14-point lead for the Broncos, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have come in hot, red hot at 4-1. All of a sudden find themselves in a position they've rarely been in this year, trailing.
You know, they don't look like they brought a lot of emotion with them, though, into this game, do they? And you know, You knew that Denver had to be upset with, you know, listening to all this stuff about how bad they were, having to buy. Pittsburgh's hearing how good they are. They're 4-1. The Broncos are hearing about the Rockies and all this stuff and say, hey, how about us? We're going to go out here and play. And you kind of had to feel that even Mike Shanahan said, we're going to pop through this pretty soon. And he said, I think we're going through it tonight.
Yeah, sometimes you think a coach is whistling in the dark, but he must have had a feeling the Sauerbrunn kicks to the 4-yard line, and this is Rawson up to the 25, and the Broncos have been lucky that the Rockies have had so much success because everybody talking about the Rockies in this town, while the Broncos, it was a good time, let's say, to have the worst home defeat you have in 41 years when the baseball teams get to the World Series.
Right. I mean, you used to come in here to Denver and, you know, people would be walking the streets, go Broncos, go Broncos. How about them Broncos? And now you walk the street and it's go Rockies. How about them Rockies?
Well, the Rockies still have a few more days off before the World Series, so it's back to go Broncos as Invesco Field is like the old days right now.
This defense is starting to back off a little. They still have 8 men up, but they're playing a little softer.
High snap, and Roethlisberger is going to get wrapped up and sacked again. And this is Alvin McKinley who comes in for the sack. Earlier, they've been playing 4-man lines with 3 rookies and a second-year guy. This time, McKinley, who was picked up as a free agent, an 8th-year guy out of Mississippi State, is in there for the sack.
And that's the thing, that now they can all take off because, you know, they feel that they can get there, that the pass protection, you know, can break down, and look at them there. They all want a piece of Ben Roethlisberger. They give me some of that.
2nd and 3. They get the snap off before the 2-minute warning. Roethlisberger has to buy time. Under pressure again. Steps up. Swings it to the outside. Caught at the 39-yard line by Hines Ward. So he keeps it alive long enough for Ward to make the catch and pick up the first down. We get to the 2-minute warning with 1:51 to the half. Pittsburgh has 1 timeout remaining, and Denver leads 21-7.
I'll start with the fans. I like those questions.
Hey, Coach, how does Coors Light deliver such awesome refreshment?
To do that, you've got to have protection.
Right. The Frost Brew Liner. It really protects that Rocky Mountain refreshment.
Would any coach say that's not genius?
There's not another coach in the National Football League that would say that. And if he did, he'd be wrong.
Word. Frost Brewed Coors Light. Official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Coach, he had 3 sacks.
1 to the half. From the 39, Roethlisberger quickly out of the shotgun throws. Caught Ward, 9-yard gain. Tackled there by Dominique Foxworth. They'll run to rehuddle here. Again, 1 timeout, just 1 for Pittsburgh.
He can throw that same pass. There's no one out here on Ward again.
Roethlisberger looking the other way. And then he's lucky that didn't turn out worse than it did. It's incomplete, intended for Davenport, and getting in the middle of the action there was the tackle Marvell Smith. 3rd and 1.
Yeah, I don't know that the Steelers have to be throwing screen passes now. I mean, they haven't really gotten into any rhythm yet at all offensively.
It hit Smith.
There's no foul on the play. It was unintentional by the left tackle.
Even though it hit Smith, hit him in the shoulder, you see Carollo so motioning. So the officials huddled, but there is no penalty.
Well, and the play didn't have any chance. I mean, DJ Williams, the middle linebacker, was reading that all the way, and he and Marvell Smith and the ball all arrived about the same time.
Bruce Arians, the former wide receiver coach, who was sending to offensive coordinator, sending in the 3rd and 1. Davenport is in the backfield. They give it to Davenport. He works his way for a first down of the 50. So with 1 timeout, clock ticking down, 1st and 10 at midfield.
Yeah, they haven't really gotten into any rhythm in the passing game as I was talking about. I mean, most of their passes are Ben Roethlisberger escaping a rush, scrambling a little, and getting down the field. And you just haven't gotten a shotgun, brought back good protection, and thrown the ball.
Then coming out of the pocket again, floats one. That's caught, 31-yard line. And Ward just keeps getting free. This time he's tackled by John Lynch. You give him enough time, and Hines will find that open area.
Right, and those are the best plays. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, shotgun, pressure comes, get outside, buy time, guys get open, find the open guy. There's that Tampa 2 again, that soft Tampa 2.
Pump fake. Under pressure again. Here he goes to his left again. Directing traffic. Still on his feet. Throws to the end zone. And it's almost picked off. Intended for Santonio Holmes. And that's Dre Bly, who nearly had his second pick of the game. And he's down again. Remember, he had the pick. Then he hurt his shoulder. And this time he's still down and needs some assistance in getting back up.
Yeah, and Roethlisberger's having trouble with this Tampa 2. We're talking about, see, both corners are up, but kind of soften off. Both safeties are deep. That's a too deep part. The linebackers are playing deep, and they're making him throw into that.
And a flag comes down at the very end of the play. There's a flag down at the 5-yard line that was thrown about 8 seconds after the play. It looks like an illegal receiver downfield. John Lynch is there discussing.
Yeah, which can happen when your quarterback scrambles, because the linemen think that the ball is gone by now.
If it's illegal, they may take the result of the play, which is an incomplete pass. That's why Carollo goes over to Shanahan.
I would think you would want to take the penalty and put him
Illegal
back.
touching, number 10 on the offense. Went out of bounds, came back inbounds, was the first to touch it. That penalty is declined. We'll take the result of the play, second down.
Because it's still second down. I mean, I would rather put him down. With only 22 seconds left, I wouldn't mind if they had first down as long as I got him out of field goal range.
Yeah, because there he goes out of bounds. So you can't go out and be the first guy to touch it. You can be the second guy to touch it, or the third, but not the first.
I'm not sure he was the first guy to touch it.
I don't know. Looked like Bly was the first to touch it.
I think he was.
2nd and 10. The ball is at the 31-yard line. And Roethlisberger has to duck away from another sack. Here's another flag. The ball is caught. Ward makes the catch. And that play took 8 seconds off the clock to 14 seconds. Jarvis Moss put the heat on that time. A flag at the 36.
73, offense. 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
And the other thing that will do is it'll take them out of field goal range. Sunday Night Football brought to you by the new comedy Dan in Real Life. Starring Steve Carell in theaters October the 26th. By GE Imagination at Work. By Gillette Clinical Strength Antiperspirant. Change your life, not your shirt. And by Nissan, inviting you to shift the way you move through the world. They were in field goal range for Jeff Reed. Right now, you'd be looking at about a 59-yard field goal, which, you know, in Denver is doable.
It's also blockable.
Yes. 2nd and 20 at the 41. Roethlisberger. And he's going to get sacked again. Boy, what pressure put on by Denver. Elvis Dumerville, who created the fumble before and got credit for the sack. 5'11", 260 pounds, Elvis Dumerville.
And you see him there against the 6'5" guy, which gives him a lot of leverage, but he just keeps going. And they know that Ben Roethlisberger's going to do that. He's going to get back in the pocket, he's going to take a look, and then he's going to get out. So they're just chasing him. And that's one thing that this Bronco defensive line has. They're young, they're a little undersized, but they have speed.
You know, you don't see defensive linemen at 5'11". You know what it reminds me of, though, John? Mike Tyson. He'd get in with the bigger, taller guys, but you couldn't beat him.
No, that's good. I mean, Mike Tyson is good because I was trying to think of a 5'10" defensive end, and I don't know that there's ever been one 5'10", 5'11". And I was trying to think, you know, who has played this game as a defensive end like Elvis Dumerville, and maybe the answer is no one, and maybe it's another sport, and maybe it is Mike Tyson.
Well, there's no other defensive end in the league under 6 feet. So Dumerville, a second-year guy. Marcus Thomas, a rookie. Jarvis Moss, a rookie. Tim Crowder, a rookie. And this is a defensive line. Remember when they went out and they got all the Cleveland Browns to play defense here for a couple of years.
Right.
And now they got all the young kids coming up.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a matter of time until they catch on, because, you know, talking to Jim Bates, their defensive coordinator, about it, he said, well, they look good in practice. He said the thing that they're not doing is taking what they do in practice to the game field. And it looks like tonight maybe they did bring their practice game to the game field.
If they really kick this field goal, even attempt to, and make it, it would be the longest field goal in the history of the league. 63 is the longest. This would be 65 yards at altitude for Jeff Reed. And this would eclipse a mark shared by the current kicker, as Dre Bly now takes it in the end zone, and Jason Elam's sharing of the record is still safe. Bly, he was thinking about what happened in New York last year when Devin Hester ran back that missed field goal attempt at the end of the half. Not to be here, but still a great half for the Broncos as they lead by a score of 21-7. Toyota halftime show from New York coming next.
Big game for us to come back home on Sunday Night Football against an AFC opponent.
Each and every Sunday, we go out with a chip on our shoulder and just out to prove the world wrong.
You got to have players that rise to the occasion when the game's on the line, and that's what winning in this league is all about.
We just got to go out there and make plays, and our playmakers just got to step up. You don't dictate what we're going to do, we dictate what you're going to do.
Extremely aggressive. They've got one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best.
This game tonight will definitely show the world that we are still here.
We got to put a stop to this skid, and no better way to do it than on Sunday Night Football.
And that's what the Broncos have done in the first half as we start the third quarter in Denver. Al Michaels, John Madden, Andrea Kramer. Broncos coming in with a mark of 2-3, having lost 3 straight. Pittsburgh coming in off the bye with a record of 4-1. But Denver fell behind 7-0 early, and now 21 unanswered points. Ben Roethlisberger has been picked off twice, and his sack fumble led to a touchdown, and Reed will kick off in Denver, and Cutler at the helm will go right to work here in the second half. Glenn Martinez back to run the kickback. Temperature in the mid-30s, clear skies, second half underway, 5 yards deep. Martinez will down it in the end zone, and we'll go to the field and Andrea.
Well, Mike Shanahan said the biggest difference in his defense was that they stopped the run. Remember, they were the worst of the league coming in. He said that enabled them to get pressure on. What are his concerns in the second half? He said, none really. We have to play like we did in the first 30 minutes. Mike Tomlin's concerns, stop the turnovers. He said they have to get the ball out of Ben Roethlisberger's hands and run the ball more. He said their story on defense, give up the big plays, and it'll be even harder because defensive end Aaron Smith is officially out for the game.
Right, Smith left early. Of course, Champ Bailey not playing for Denver. The cornerback is out from the 20-yard line. Cutler swings it to the outside. That's caught by Brandon Marshall. And Marshall picks up 13 up to the 33-yard line. First and 10 Denver as we take a look at some of the numbers for the first half. Pittsburgh coming in with a great rushing attack, and yet only 54 yards, 26 on one play, and turnovers that's the big story. 3 for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You know, and the other part of the big story, I think, is pace. The Broncos in the first half played at a very fast pace. I felt the Steelers played at a very slow pace.
Henry takes it up to the 39-yard line where he's tackled by James Farrier.
Those guys are really something on the inside. I mean, what's James Farrier there? That's a tackle. That's a form tackle. I mean, you want to get your shoulder in there, you want to get your face in there, you want to wrap them up, and James Farrier did all of the above.
Gain of 6 to the 39-yard line. Toss it back to Henry, who cuts back inside. That was Troy Polamalu coming up on the outside. Henry was able to dart back inside and brings it just about back to the line of scrimmage.
And that's what the Steeler defense has to do more, what Troy Polamalu did. You know, get in there, get them, disrupt them before they get started. Don't let them control the pace. You take over the pace.
maybe the most exciting defensive player in the league on a week in and week out basis. Polamalu with a flowing mane all over the field. 3 straight Pro Bowls. 3rd down and 3. Here he comes. There he goes. He backs off. Pass goes to the outside. And it's Brandon Marshall to pick up the first down. Looked like he was going to get stopped shy of the first down marker and is able to plunge forward and moves the chains.
Yeah, but he's so big. I mean, he's 6'4" and 230 pounds, and he's not going to get stopped easily. You know, and that was the thing. Mike Tomlin said the thing that he worried about, you know, the rush or the inside pressure was that screen out there to the wide receiver like Brandon Marshall. In fact, he said, where the heck does Brandon Marshall come from?
University of Central Florida from the 45-yard line. Butler throws, and that's picked off. It's almost like he threw a changeup. Larry Foote with the interception and brings it back to the 40-yard line. So the Steelers get a big early break. It's almost as if the ball stayed in his hand a fraction of a second too long. It looked like he threw a changeup down the middle of the field.
Right, he was trying to get Tony Scheffler, his tight end, down the middle. Like you say, that's one thing that Jay Cutler will do. You know, he will hold the ball a little longer because his arm is so strong. And you'll watch Larry Foote here. He's number 50, the left inside backer right there. And he just backs up in a zone, and he was just reading Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler looks at Tony Scheffler, his receiver, all the way.
Took a little off it at the end and throws it into the hands of the linebacker. First down, Pittsburgh now at the 41-yard line. And Parker picks up a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Tackled by Dominique Foxworth, 2nd down.
Yeah, I think the Steelers just have to get back to, I guess Mike Tomlin said, you know, take the ball out of Ben Roethlisberger's hand because Ben isn't playing well. I mean, he gets back, he drops back, and he's holding the ball too long. He won't let it go, and then he has to scramble, and that's how he's made the plays. And I think they have to just, you know, pound the ball in there, run the ball the way you thought you could, and then go play action pass and some of the other things you thought you could do. But the Broncos are doing a great job of pressing the line of scrimmage.
They give it to Parker. He looks for room around the outside. Again, equal to the task, and that's D.J. Williams in the middle of the action. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, what the Broncos are doing is just playing an 8-man front. And the 8-man front will be the 4 defensive linemen, the 3 linebackers, and then bringing one of the secondary, one of the safeties, usually John Lynch, like right there to the weak side. And then they're pressing the line of scrimmage, and they're blitzing, and they're really taking it to this Steeler offense.
And that Denver defense have kept the Steelers in 3rd and long almost the entire night.
3rd and 8 in this Tampa 2.
3rd and 8 here, and Roethlisberger's going to run and pick up the first down. Puts his shoulder down, runs into Jeff Schote, and picks up the first down. So what the Steelers have done tonight, and they did it on that first drive, they had a 3rd and 8 and a 40-yard pass to Nate Washington. Have a 3rd and 8 here to keep the drive alive.
Right, see, and here's that soft Tampa 2 zone, and you can see the hole here. And then when Ben Roethlisberger sees that line, that lane, he just takes it. Usually a quarterback will not take on a tackler with his right shoulder. Ben wasn't exactly sure of that rule.
From the 28. This is Parker. And Parker, he's so good at looking like he's going outside, just cutting back in a little stutter step to the inside, tackled by John Lynch, and then a move the ball down to the 13-yard line.
Yeah, and then, you know, at some point you have to run into the 8-man front, and that's what it is. We showed that 8-man front, and, you know, you just can't throw every time you get in it. You have to run at it.
Number 78.
And I'm sure that's what the Steelers, you know, talked about at halftime is, look, they're playing this 8-man front on 1st and 2nd down, but we have to run at it in 1st and 2nd down.
One of the reasons Alan Faneker goes to the Pro Bowl every year, the block he threw on that play. Ball at the 13-yard line. And this is Parker who keeps those legs churning and takes the ball inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
You know, when you have an offensive line like this, and Marvell Smith, the left tackle, and Alan Faneker, the left guard, and those guys are really dominant offensive linemen. And those guys don't like to get in shotgun and throw, screens and run cross. They like to pound the ball at the defense, and you have to give them some of that.
To our right, 78.
Second down and 6. But Heath Miller on a wing to the left.
Max Starks, the tight end, on the other side. They have 3 offensive tackles.
Starks is eligible on the left side. And that's a great tackle because there was Ferguson. And John, you're talking about somebody's going to get unblocked when you put that many guys at the line. There's your unblockee.
Right, and then when that guy is unblocked, he has to make the play, and that's exactly what Nick Ferguson did. Nick Ferguson is right here in the end of the line of scrimmage. They blocked down. I think the play was supposed to go inside or to the right. Willie Parker tried to bounce it out to the left right into Nick Ferguson.
Third down and 10. Najee Davenport now in the backfield, flanking Roethlisberger out of the shotgun. Four-man run. Roethlisberger to the end zone. Caught by Holmes. Santonio Holmes for the touchdown.
And the Steelers did exactly what they had to do. Run the ball, pound it at him, make a couple of plays, and then Roethlisberger just get back in the shotgun and just throw the ball. Here's Santonio Holmes here. He runs the post. He gets the step right there. Roethlisberger puts it right on him. You see, before, he wouldn't let it go. I mean, he was always looking to get outside, to run. Of course, that time he just stayed in the pocket and threw the ball the way you're supposed to.
Put it between Bly and Ferguson for the score. So they go 41 yards after the interception. Cash in on the Denver turnover. Reed for the point after. And it's a 7-point game. 8 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter of the Mile High City. Denver 21, Pittsburgh 14 on Sunday Night Football. On NBC. Original Brooklands right next to Coors Field here in Denver. I thought original Brooklands was in Flatbush, but I guess I'm wrong.
Well, there's original... They have Rocky Burgers in Brooklyn?
They don't have Rocky Burgers, nor Avalanche Burgers, nor Nugget Burgers, nor Bronco Burgers, but they have them at original Brooklands. Anyway, that was pretty good. Let's see what the Broncos can do now after watching a 14-point lead go down to 7 following the pick. 41 yards and 7 plays. 6 of those plays on the ground. And just 1 through the air for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That pass to Holmes for the touchdown. This is Young, the rookie out of Texas, who's going to run it back from about 4 yards into the end zone. He'll bring it back to the 22-yard line. 8:05 left in the third. Denver by 7. On NBC, it starts with the new action comedy Chuck, then Heroes, and we can go back in time with Journeyman tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern to Pacific, 7 Central and Mountain here on NBC. From the 21-yard line, Cutler with a deep drop and time, and slings it right into the hands of Brandon Marshall for a 19-yard gain up at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, I was talking to Brandon Marshall the other day, and in practice he dropped 2 or 3, and he says Friday practices are tough for him. He says what happens when he drops the ball, he's always trying to make a run. So you start to look where you can run before you look the ball into your hand. He said, with these guys, I just have to remember I'm going to look the ball into my hands and take the hit. And he just did there from Troy Polamalu.
He at the moment's the #1 receiver. Here's Henry. Remember, Javon Walker, who would be #1, hurt. Walker had knee surgery a couple of years ago, played with the Broncos last year coming from Green Bay, had surgery again, and Rod Smith is on the physically unable to perform list and dubious whether he'll be back.
You know, Chris Myers, the center there, and he's drawing a tough block there with Casey Hampton, and Chris Myers taking the place of Tom Nalen, who seemed to have been the center for the Broncos forever, and looks like he's made a pretty smooth transition here in his calls and his play with Jake Cutler.
Play fake. Cutler's going to move to the outside, seeking that first down, and he will go out of bounds. It appears just a little short of it. You're talking about Neyland. Neyland made 187 starts, torn biceps in the San Diego game, so Neyland's on injured reserve. But I mean, just to put that into relative terms, you think about the late Mike Webster, the great Steelers center, the Hall of Famer. He made the same number of starts. And then you have Jeff Van Note, mainly with the Falcons, at 225 most starts by a center for one team.
Yeah, and those guys are special guys because they're always kind of the heart and soul of the offensive line. They make all the calls. They keep everyone coordinated and start fights.
3rd and 1, and they give it to Staff, who scored the touchdown on the reception in the first half. The fullback picking up the first down as he crosses the 50-yard line to the Steeler 48. We took down to 6 minutes left in the 3rd.
And we talked about Chris Myers. Chris Cooper is also starting. And this is just a wedge where you go boom, boom, boom. You just get everything going right there. The center, the 2 guards, they all converge right in the middle and just get a push. They got a pretty good push. And then you see after that, they're talking about that the center, the guy that always starts the fights. Chris Myers got a little extra push.
And Pittsburgh gets a little extra push here, and Cutler was looking to dump it off to anybody at the end, but James Harrison, the outside backer on the 3-4, comes in to get credit for the sack.
I like the pace that the Steelers are playing with the second half. I thought that they were a little lethargic in the first half, and they come out and their offense kind of set the pace, and now their defense, you see Harrison coming off that corner. He just goes right by Daniel Graham. And those are the types of things that they have to do. I mean, they have to start playing. The Steeler defense has to start playing on the Broncos side of the line of scrimmage.
They're one of the big free agent pickups. Steelers and the Patriots during the offseason, 2nd and 14. And Henry runs right into Harrison. So 2 big plays back-to-back for James Harrison, the 4th-year outside linebacker who played his college football at Kent State.
See, and they're controlling the pace now, and they're playing on the Bronco side of the line of scrimmage, and Harrison on both plays. You see the one before where he got in there, and now he's the outside linebacker right here, takes the inside, and he makes that play 3 yards deep in the Broncos side of the ball.
Harrison ascending to a starting role because they let Joey Porter go. Porter, after several seasons, is the stalwart for the Steeler defense, now playing in Miami.
Other than a 2-3 dime, 2 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, 6 defensive backs.
A pressure and a dump off underneath, and he was caught by Selvin Young, the rookie, and Selvin Young will pick up a first down. So the Steelers have been converting on 3rd and long, and then the Broncos return the favor on a 3rd and 14 on a dump off to the undrafted rookie out of Texas, Selvin Young.
You know, it's funny talking to Mike Tomlin last night. You know, he said that with blitzes and pressure, the thing that he's worrying about with the Broncos is a screen pass. And usually you say, you know, when we pressure, we're man-to-man. We worry about our corners. We worry about the deep pass. He was worried about this very play that's happening to him.
Before the season is done, Young may be a very important man for the Denver Broncos. The plate here to Henry, and then Cutler gets sacked and loses the ball, and enough blue shirts are there that Lamar Woodley, after making the sack, cannot get up in time to recover it, and it's recovered by Brandon Marshall, the wide receiver, coming all the way back into the backfield.
Yeah, that was a heck of a play by Lamar Woodley. I mean, staying with Jay Cutler here and making the play. I mean, here he faked him a little. He got outside him, and then Woodley made that step back up, got the tackle, caused the fumble, and of course the Broncos get it back. But it was still a heck of a play by Woodley. I mean, he had to change directions quickly and make a tackle in a strip.
Good play by Marshall. I mean, he's a wide receiver out running a pattern, and it's 11 yards in the backfield, and he got back there to recover it. The throw is low, and the pass is caught as it's taken in by Brian Clark, wrapped up by Ike Taylor at the 40-yard line.
Maybe I made a mistake when I was coaching Al. I used to always tell guys, I don't want you in position to get a lateral, or I don't want you in position to recover a fumble behind.
But that might have worked when you were coaching. That was good.
No, but I always wanted everyone in front of everything. You know, I didn't want it behind. You know, you don't have to be in position for a lateral. You're not going to lateral things in. And that was usually the offensive tackles that would you'll get behind the pass rushers that would go beyond the quarterback.
3rd down and 14 from the 40-yard line. And that is caught over the middle. He calls Stokely's number. So Stokely, who was a key part of that first touchdown drive, and we haven't heard from him since, all of a sudden reemerges here on a big play, a 17-yard game, and a first down to the 23.
We see Brandon Stokely here in the slot, and that's where Mike Shanahan says he's the best that he's ever seen, and it's all about quickness. You know, I mean that first step, you know, beating someone, coming under control, finding the hole, doing all those things, and Brandon Stokely is darn near perfect at it.
Stokely has caught 5 passes for 70 yards. They split Scheffler wide to the left. They throw out in that direction to Marshall. Scheffler with a block, and then Marshall takes it inside the 5 and is out of bounds at the 2. Ryan Clark saving the touchdown.
Yeah, that whole formation was set up for that play. You see the 3 wide receivers out here. Here he starts to loop now. When he catches the ball right there, he has 2 blockers out in front of him. And Brandon Marshall is so big. When he runs, he can run with power. Tony Scheffler, one of those receivers out there, the tight end makes a good block.
He does, and Martinez did too, taking Polamalu out of the play. 1st and goal from the 2. And Henry gets taken down in the backfield. He was penetrating that time. Was Chris Ho coming in. Yeah, you know, you love when the Broncos run that play with that formation with Scheffler outside and what they did. I mean, that's how Mike Shanahan got the name Mastermind years ago. Now, you know, a lot of his opponents mock him about that right now, but the man did win 2 back-to-back Super Bowls.
Yeah, look at the penetration in there. So now what he's going to do, I would say, is go to that play-action pass again. And if they're going to play that inside run that tough, fake it and pass it.
2nd and goal from the 2. A roll by Cutler and a touchdown to Tony Scheffler. Went from his left hand to his right hand to throwing to Scheffler for the score. An 80-yard drive that took 8 minutes and 10 seconds.
And they answered him. I mean, Pittsburgh came down and scored, and the Broncos got the ball and came right down and scored on them. But that's the thing to do. You know, if you can't run in there, if they're going to play that run tough, if they're going to sell out inside on the run, then you just have some kind of fake and you throw it. That was a pretty good feeling with Scheffler. You know, between Cutler and Scheffler, they kind of understand where each other are.
And that coincides with the end of the 3rd quarter. 28-14 in Denver. Sunday Night Football back after these messages.
Wednesday.
You can run 60 miles per hour. You have enough power in your arm to shatter bricks.
That's so Superman.
At Les Schwab, we appreciate your business. It's why we provide money-back warranties and service you can count on. You are the reason.
The new BMW 5 Series with a more powerful engine, spacious Dakota leather seats, near perfect 50-50 weight distribution, and an elegantly redesigned interior. Nothing holds performance and luxury in a more perfect balance. Lease a BMW 528i for $549 a month until October 31st.
Trust what you love to Tire Factory.
The new Wednesday night show on NBC, Bionic Woman. You'll see it this Wednesday coming your way at 9 Eastern and Pacific, 8 Central and Mountain Time right here on NBC. As we look at the largest city in the Mountain Time Zone, Denver, Colorado, on this chilly night. 35 was the temperature about an hour ago. My thermostat right now, John, says 33.7.
How about those Broncos thermostats? They don't look like anything. Tony Scheffler out there looks like he thinks it's 70 degrees out there. When you catch touchdown passes and you're ahead 28-14. There's no way Cole gets to you.
So a little bit of that snow piled up in front of the first row. Big snowstorm this morning, but clear tonight. And then Alan Rossum picks up the ball at the 3-yard line. So you had two Steelers back there, and there was confusion with Rossum and Najee Davenport as to who was going to run it back. And the next thing you know, they'll wind up starting a drive from their own 6-yard line. 3 seconds into the fourth quarter.
Sending large documents, last-minute emails, and everyday reminders, make the most of precious seconds on the fastest and largest national mobile broadband network. That's getting it done at Sprint Speed.
When it comes to romance, sometimes you like to be ready fast. But sometimes it's better to take things slow. For either time, one ED tablet gives you the option to choose. Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast, in as little as 30 minutes for some men, and work up to 36 hours. No other ED tablet can do both. And Cialis works so you can respond to your partner only when you're both ready. Tell your doctor about your medical condition and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away. Why ask your doctor about Cialis? Because either sooner or later, when the moment is right, you can be ready with Cialis.
He woke up on a strange continent. She has been sent to hunt him. Tomorrow, Kristen Bell joins heroes, and the showdown begins. All new heroes tomorrow on NBC.
Aerial coverage. You're looking at downtown Denver, brought to you by Gillette Clinical Strength. 3 seconds into the fourth quarter. Al Michaels, John Madden, Andrew Kramer in Denver. Crowd roaring because their Broncos are up 28-14 and playing their best game of the season to this point. Pittsburgh begins from the 6-yard line. Ward takes it on the outside, gets it up to the 9-yard line. Ian Gold, the outside backer, with the tackle. It'll be second down at 7.
Yeah, the Steelers tried that same type of play, you know, a quick screen to your outside receiver. And, you know, when you're back up here, you just got to get, you know, anything to get out. Here you see Ben Roethlisberger just comes back, gets the ball out there to Hines Ward. But when they do that to you, you really have to scramble on defense. And you have to pursue, you have to get a bunch of guys out there, and the Broncos do that well.
Ward 5 catches, 54 yards. Fake inside handoff. Holmes to the outside. Ward out in front for the block, and Santonio Holmes picks up a first down at the 22-yard line. And a flag comes in at the end of the play because there was a lot of contact after they had crossed the boundary.
Isn't that something? That play works for the Broncos, so the Steelers do it.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 47, defense, late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty for them to run, automatic first down.
The venerable John Lynch.
I'll tell you, John Lynch brings it, and he's shaking his head that he didn't hit out of bounds, but he did. That's a tough thing. I mean, it's a tough thing for a defender. You're going, and then when the receiver gets out of bounds, you have to stop. And sometimes it's hard to pull up, but you just have to do that.
Well, it was tough in particular for the cameraman. The last time I saw a screen go to green, there was an earthquake at Candlestick Park. To the 34-yard line, here's Willie Parker, stopped by John Engelberger at the 31. I mean, you talk about a point of view from a cameraman's position. That's normally when you have an unmanned camera if you're doing that shot in a movie.
Yeah, when you go to green, you know that something bad just happened. Here's that screen, and then you see them all coming right here.
Yep.
And then, boop, green.
Give that cinematographer a raise. Or a brace. 2nd and 13.
We'll say this, he hung in there.
Boy, he did. Roethlisberger pump faking, slings it to the outside. There's Parker. So Willie got out into the flat, and Parker takes it into Denver territory to the 47-yard line before he is stopped by Dre Bly.
Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger has taken a lot of hits and tonight, and it's been a lot of pressure defense, and just everyone trying to get to him, and and when they get there, they're going to take him to the ground tough, because he is a hard guy to get to the ground. So the Broncos know that, and they know that if you're going to do it, you better get a whole bunch of guys on him, and they've been on Ben pretty well all night.
6'5" and weighing about 245 right now. From the 47-yard line, Roethlisberger hands it to Parker. Big hole for Parker inside the 30, and Willie Parker, before he is forced out of bounds. Alan Faneca led the way with a block, takes it to the 23-yard line, a gain of 24 yards.
That was a great block by Alan Faneca. He's elite. He's going to come and kick out here. John Lynch is coming on a blitz. You see Faneca right there. He makes that kick out. Willie Parker is right off him. And the thing about Parker, when you have that kind of speed, anytime you get free to that second level, you can take it all the way.
12 minutes to play in the 4th. Steelers down by 2 touchdowns. Ward, and that pass was deflected. John Lynch came in. That was Ward going in motion, so he can either run a reverse or go by him, fake the reverse, and take the pass out into the flat, but John Lynch came in to break it up.
Right, I think that's what he was trying to do. I think he was trying to have him come, and then he was going to throw him a loop pass and let him run with it with blockers out in front, but John Lynch said there's no way you're going to do that. Ben Roethlisberger looking at that wristband. They can call the plays by number. They'll say 15, and then he just looks at number 15 and calls that play from his wristband.
2nd down 10, and Roethlisberger's going to take a timeout. 28-14 Broncos.
Routine of 2 of the premier safeties in the NFL. Now, John Lynch says he's a coach's nightmare. He dislikes looking at the pictures. He talks to his teammates and coaches because Mike Shanahan demands it. He just wants to watch the game. Now, as for Troy Polamalu, he gets his adjustments from the coaches, which he says are especially important this game since the Broncos are a package of the week team, a different game plan for his opponent. He says he gets more out of communicating with his fellow defensive backs than looking at the pictures.
Different horses for different courses, or different courses for different horses, but they both get to the finish line.
Right, and then when the ball snaps, it's all instinct anyway. Even Dick LeBeau said, I can't draw up things that Polamalu can do naturally.
2nd and 10 from the 23-yard line after the Pittsburgh timeout. Pressure on. Roethlisberger escapes a sack. He's going to run with the ball, and he's going to pick up about 8 yards as he gets to the 15-yard line, avoiding Nate Webster coming in, who almost got the sack.
And the thing is about Ben Roethlisberger in the pocket, he's very aware of pressure, and then he can just, he's so big and he's so strong that he can just roll that shoulder. Watch how he just kind of rolls that shoulder, turns, starts off again, but keeps looking to throw the ball, although on this one he does run. You can get a blitzer. You can get someone into the backfield on Ben Roethlisberger, but he's tough to get to the ground.
3rd down and 2. Parker. And Willie's going to spin, and it looks like he's going to be a little short of the first. DJ Williams makes the tackle. So let's see what Tomlin's going to do at the 13-yard line. If you kick a field goal, you make it a 2-possession game. It's still going to be a 2-possession game at 28-17. or do you go for it? Fourth down, they're going to measure to show him just how short he is.
You know, this is when Mike Tomlin, gets the experience of being a head coach. You know, it's easier when you're 4-1, when you're playing with a lead all the time. But what do you do on the road in this situation? I think if it were me and I have a good offensive line, and Denver really hasn't been good against the run, although they're playing well tonight, I think I would go for it.
I think I would, too, under these circumstances. Down by 14 on the road, he will. You know, Tomlin doesn't have that much experience making these decisions, so he told us yesterday he went back and he looked at every Steeler game last year, every situation. He stopped the tape and he thought, what would I do in this circumstance?
Right. I mean, you have to do that. You have to practice being head coach. Because you have to make these kinds of decisions, not only to go for it, but how to go for it, what play.
Well, 9 for 9 are the three guys who run the ball on 3rd or 4th and 1. Davenport is the tailback in this set.
I don't think that Ben Roethlisberger's a bad choice, although looks like it'd be tough to quarterback sneak this defense.
He'll try, and he, with a lean. The question is, when was forward progress stopped? So clearly, they come in from the side. They'll take a look at this. The linesman will put the ball down where he thinks. And again, you know, the yellow line is unofficial. They obviously can't see the yellow line. We know that. So where is he going to put it down? He's going to put it down right on the line.
It's the old right foot, left foot deal. Here it is right here. You know, I said, quarterback sneak I thought would be a good call. Then I saw the defense, and I didn't think it was against that defense. But I like the push that Alan Faneca gets there. I mean, I think that he gets him enough, and Ben, pushes his legs. Those last 2 steps may have gotten him the first down there and there. Right there, that last burst there.
Well, the line judge and the head linesman are the 2 guys who would have the best angle, but the one guy came in from the other side, the one official, who was in effect the guy who had the worst view of it, because Roethlisberger had the ball in his right hand, and it's going to be a first down.
And he got it from that last push. I mean, Alan Faneca did a nice job of blocking, and that got the original push there for Ben Roethlisberger. And then he kept his legs going, and then right at the end, he gave it like one more spurt.
And Mike Shanahan angry about the call. Ball is at the 13-yard line. You know, you can challenge the spot, but I don't think you win that either. It's a matter of inches. Roethlisberger throwing on the run. Touchdown to Tim Spate, a rookie from Minnesota. 3rd-round draft choice. Tim Spate for the touchdown. So they get the good spot on 4th down, and then Spate winds up with a TD.
He's the inside tight end right there, and you see he's just going to run right up to the goal line, turn around, no one covers him. And again, Ben buying a little time. I mean, went back there, didn't throw it on rhythm, had to move a little in the pocket, and then found Tim Spate.
Matt Spate is for the touchdown. Spate was his 3rd touchdown grab. He's caught 4 passes this season. Extra point attempt here is good by Jeff Reed to make it 28-21. So Spate with the touchdown to make it a 7-point game after Roethlisberger picks up the first down on 4th and inches. Coming on right here on NBC. Did we ever know a guy named Tim Spate? I mean, we just gave Matt Spate a new nickname. They'll be calling him Tim now.
I mean, Tim sounded so right at the time.
Matt Spate.
Sorry, Matt.
Sorry, Matt. We'll make it up to you. We'll buy you dinner. Here's Martinez coming out of the end zone. And Martinez brings it back up to the 31-yard line before it comes loose after he was down. So 10 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Good ball game. At Invesco Field in Denver, Broncos up 28-21.
This game's not too big for him, but yet inside of that, there's a very competitive spirit, and you always feel like you have a chance with him in the game.
Yeah, John, we haven't seen Cutler since last year, but I'm impressed. I mean, we hear about all the things he can do. I mean, a lot of that's been on display tonight.
Yeah, and I think he has a lot better control of the game and a lot better control of his passing. You know, he has, like I said, he probably has the strongest arm in the NFL, but he has a pretty good touch now with it.
This is Stokely, and Brandon can't get out of the backfield. Coming in is Larry Foote to bust that play up back at the 24-yard line. And keep in mind, too, for Cutler, he's minus his go-to wideout tonight. Javon Walker having undergone surgery this past week.
Right, and early in the week they thought Javon Walker would play, and he was saying that that he ought to have a big game. Javon Walker was, because remember when they played last year in Pittsburgh, he had 3 touchdowns against them.
In a game in which the Steelers, we mentioned before, gave the ball away 6 times. This is Selvin Young going nowhere, so they run the rookie on a 2nd, 5th, and 15. And it will be 3rd down upcoming, 3rd and long, with Mike Shanahan sending in the play.
And I know what Mike Shanahan is thinking. We have to get back to the running game. We have to be able to run the ball, run some time off the clock. And he had that 1st down play that goes for a loss. And now that kind of takes the run away from you. And then when you run, you don't gain anything. Then it puts you in a very unmanageable situation, 3rd and 12 or 13.
And Cutler looking as if he's just waiting to call a timeout here, which he will do. Denver will take a timeout prior to a 3rd and 14. Here they are in Denver. Right now, Denver has a 3rd and 14. The Broncos converted 2 3rd and 14s on their 3rd quarter touchdown drive. Here they go again on 3rd and 14 from the 26-yard line. Cutler backing up, buying time, and this time they will not convert. He gets 4 on 3rd and 14. He gets taken down by Kursky and Kiesel at the 30-yard line, and Sauerbrunn and his group will come in to punt.
I like that play call. I mean, you're trying to be aggressive. You're getting in shotgun, trying to get the ball up the field, but there's no place for him to go. So he doesn't want to do anything stupid. He doesn't want to turn over, so he just runs to get as much as he can. I think it was a good play call and pretty good execution by Jay Cutler.
Booming kick. That's a 61-yard kick. Fielded at the 9. And up to the 22. 61 yards at 5,280 feet. 7:47 left. A 1-touchdown game.
I'm a ballet dancer.
Morning. It was so windy, it was snowing sideways. In the afternoon, it was clear. Now we have a few more flurries in Denver as the Pittsburgh Steelers begin this drive from their own 22-yard line. 7:47 to go in regulation. Here's Holmes. And he gets a nice block as Bly is taken out of the play, and he winds up picking up 8.
It was funny, we talked about that play there. In fact, Mike Tomlin calls it an alley screen. And, he was worried about that, about Denver doing it. Denver has done it, and now he's doing it.
Ball inside the 30. 2nd and a long one. Halfway through the 4th quarter. Hines and Holmes stacked to the right, and now they break that. So Hines the word in motion. Holmes takes the pass from Roethlisberger, gets tackled immediately, but all they needed was a 1.5 yards, and they get about 3. Fly makes the tackle, 1st down.
Yeah, that's one of those things that, is is such a good call when you have second and short. You can really run anything. You know, that it's tough to, you know, call third and real long. When you get second and short, you get the defense all packed in there. Outside, you just have that wide receiver all out there by himself. You just give him the ball and let him get the first down. Although, if you see him out there all by himself in San Antonio home, sometimes it's not bad to take a shot to him, too, on second down.
Parker now. Good tackle coming in here. DJ Williams made a lot of big plays tonight.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time until DJ Williams gets the real feel of this middle linebacker position. And every time I see him, he's playing better. And when he plays the best is when he's like this, when he's playing downhill and attacking the line of scrimmage. Because he's a great athlete, he's a very good tackler, and he can get to the ball.
Second down and 9 against the 4-man front. Goal shows blitz. Doesn't. And delay. Gold is there to make the tackle on Willie Parker. So a big third down coming up right now.
Ian Gold, that's one thing that Ian Gold is. He's a good tackler and good speed. I mean, that's what this linebacker group, I mean, they're undersized. They're not the biggest guys in the world, but they can run. And they, you know, can make up for a lot of problems.
3rd and 8. Crowd rises as one. Roethlisberger out of the shotgun. Has time. Wide open over the middle. Hines Ward was standing in midfield with a body lean, takes it into Denver territory at the 49-yard line. Ferguson and Williams make the tackle.
Yeah, very good pass protection for Ben Roethlisberger. And when he gets this kind of time, and then Hines Ward can just work in the zone and find it. But watch what Roethlisberger, the time that he has, he looks out there to the right, kind of pumps out there like he was going to throw it there, then comes back to the middle on Hines Ward.
I'm surprised there wasn't a flag for a false start. Both Smith and Faneca were moving on the left side. From the 49-yard line. Off the fake. Underneath. The throw goes to Parker. He's going to get the first down. And he gets taken down in the open field by Dominique Foxworth. But not before he reaches the 37-yard line with 4:15 and ticking down remaining.
And that had to be a drop coverage because there's no way that Willie Parker should be that wide open.
Go back to that play. It should have been a false start. You got Faneca and Smith both going before the snap.
You're right. But it was quite a bit before the snap, wasn't it? And Smith could have been lined up in the backfield also.
Apart from that, no problem. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Roethlisberger under pressure, gets hammered, and a flag comes down as John Engelberger comes in. And a flag down with Bill Carollo to make the call.
They're ready for that now. I mean, Roethlisberger going back, getting in the pocket, and then running out of it. They're in their lanes, and then they're refilling their lanes.
Against Pittsburgh, and the question is, well, it's an 8-yard sack, so you take the play to make it 2nd down and 18.
Holding, number 73, offense. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
That's an easy call for Denver because it's 1st and 20 or 2nd and 18.
Yeah, this is where he was looking, and that's why he held the ball. He's looking for Holmes, and I'm not sure if Holmes was trying to run a hook or a hook and go. That's where he's looking, and he pumped it out there, and then he had to come back to the left, and there was John Engelberger.
3.5 to go. Pittsburgh has 2 timeouts. Ward makes the catch on the slam. Hines Ward takes it to the 37. So they're back to the original line of scrimmage. Gain on the play of 8. It'll be 3rd down and 10. And yet another in a series of third and longs tonight, of which both teams have converted numerous times.
And I think he ought to try and get back in the middle again. I mean, that's where he's had success, either to his tight end Heath Miller or to his slot Hines Ward. But in the middle of the field, like in between the hashes, I think that's where the area to go on this defense is.
Under 3 minutes.
Well, you better be ready to block the blitz.
3rd and 10. The pass is caught on a slant. Cedric Wilson makes the catch and takes it to the 25, and another big 3rd and long conversion. That is a 12-yard gain and his first catch of the night.
Yeah, he gets Cedric Wilson in there, and you can see how open the middle is. I mean, here's the area that you want to get into. He brings Cedric. In fact, he had 3 receivers in that area in the middle. Cedric Wilson gets the step right there. Roethlisberger reads it perfectly.
From the 25. Ticking down to the 2-minute warning. Parker. And he'll get tripped up. Nate Webster makes the tackle. That does take us to the 2-minute warning. It'll be 2nd and 7 when we come back. 2 timeouts remaining for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They trail Denver by 7 in Colorado. Take with John and Chris. Andrea will have an interview with one of the stars of the game on the post-game show coming up. But we could be a ways away from a post-game show because it's a 7-point game. 2 minutes left in regulation. 2 timeouts for Pittsburgh. 2nd down and 6 at the 22-yard line.
Right, and the Steelers are in 4-down territory here now. They're not going to kick a field goal, so they can think in terms of scoring a touchdown with 4 downs per series.
To the outside off the fake. This is Carey Davis, a fullback. Davis, the blocking back, makes the reception and picks up a 1st down.
And I think this is one of the things, again, the Steelers know that if they get a 4th down situation, they know that they're going to go for it. And I don't know that they have to hurry up now because, you know, you want to take some time off the clock so in scoring your touchdown, so when you do, the Broncos don't get a chance to come right back at you. But if you can score a touchdown on this play, you'll take that touchdown.
You will take it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
From the 12-yard line on 1st down. Roethlisberger. The protection is good. The pass is perfect. Heath Miller for the touchdown. He beats the safety Nick Ferguson. So Miller, their leading receiver coming into the game, has scored his 2nd touchdown of the night, and they're an extra point away from tying it up.
And Ben Roethlisberger feels very comfortable with Heath Miller. And I think the closer he gets to the goal line, the more comfortable he is with him. And that's the thing. I mean, there's 2 things when you get in the red zone you like. Is a good running back and running game and a good big tight end.
Jeff Reed to the point after the rookie Dan Sepulveda will hold it. Greg Warren will snap it. And it's 28-all with 1:10 to play. The Broncos will have 2 timeouts when they get the ball, and Big Ben was 8 of 8 for 80 yards and a touchdown. Perfect symmetry.
We must stop inflation.
Senator, how is that achievable?
More than just fries. I can choose whatever celebrity's nose I want, but I have to have fries with my combo. What about a baked potato? Chili. A side salad. More than just fries. This is America, people.
He's making more sense than the governor.
At Wendy's, you can have more than just fries with your combo, like a side salad, baked potato, or even chili at no extra cost.
That's right. We need more customers. So, what? Advertise?
Ask the ad guru. Yellowbook.com. Customers know what they want, not always where to find it.
Excellent. Yellow Book.
Business is off the charts.
Wherever you look, Yellow Book.
Introducing new Nicorette Cinnamon Surge, the coated stop-smoking gum that helps control your cravings and tastes like real cinnamon gum, which could be that extra push to help you quit. New Nicorette Cinnamon Surge. When you're ready to quit, fight fire with fire.
Presenting the 263 horsepower Lincoln MKZ, rated highest in initial quality according to J.D. Power & Associates. Now joined by the fastest-selling luxury crossover, the Lincoln MKX, with its award-winning safety and panoramic vista roof. Reach higher, and you're destined to reach the top. Now drive the innovative Lincoln MKZ for $329 a month.
Tomorrow, division rivals collide with first place on the line as Peyton Manning leads the undefeated Super Bowl champs against the hard-hitting Jaguars team. ESPN Monday Night Football, Colts-Jaguars, tomorrow at 8:30.
Ben Roethlisberger inside the Denver 20 tonight. Perfect. 6 out of 6. 4 touchdowns. 2 to Miller. And the game is tied with 70 seconds to play. Reed into the thin air. Dropped and then recovered in the end zone by Selvin Young. And they'll start from the 20-yard line as we go back to the Pittsburgh TD.
It is. We'll see they line up with 2 tight ends on this side. Here's Matt Spaeth here. Here's Heath Miller here. Spaeth is going to go short. Heath Miller is going to come up and run the corner. The second guy in is usually the guy that is the easiest to throw to. The outside guy is covered by a corner. The inside of the 2 tight ends is covered by a safety.
We began the game by saying Denver was at a crossroads. They're at the crossroads. 28 all, trying to avoid a 4th straight loss, trying to regain some of the mile-high mystique, trying to stay in the AFC West race. Flagged down. That was a 16-yard gain to Scheffler. If it stands, Foot is saying no, the penalty will be against Denver. And Scheffler goes limping off. Remember, he's coming back from a broken foot.
And it looks like his right foot there, and he was a big part of what the Broncos wanted to do tonight.
Offside Pittsburgh. And he's been a big part.
Defense. Number 53. That penalty is declined. First down.
Yeah, they thought that they could get Tony Scheffler in the middle of the field against that Steeler defense, and they've been able to do it. Now without him, I think the way to do it is to go to Stokely. You don't have a tight end in there, then you go to your slot and you can do the same type of thing.
They already put Alexander and Jackson, 2 other tight ends, on injured reserve, and Cutler throws to nobody. Looked like that snap came a little early for him. Not quite ready for it. It's 2nd down and 10.
Well, he had Brandon Marshall on the outside going deep, and he had Stokely on the inside of the slot position on a hook, and he looked like he threw it between them. Looked like he threw it over Stokely and under Marshall.
I think he was surprised to get the ball when he did. He said just get rid of it. Avoid the turnover. 2nd down and 10. The ball is at the 36-yard line. Butler hangs in, throws, juggles, caught, short of the first. Brandon Marshall, that's going to make it 3rd and 1. The clock is down to 50 seconds. Denver with 2 timeouts. 3rd and 1 at the 45-yard line. And Cutler's going to try to sneak it for a first down. There's a flag down.
That was a smart call because it wasn't that you can sneak against his Steeler defense, but they weren't set. They weren't ready.
And Pittsburgh may have been offside again.
Well, that's another plus.
And that'll give them a first down. They can serve their timeouts. Trying to move it into range for a Elam field goal at worst.
92. Defense. Line up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. First down.
James Harrison.
And you see they weren't set there. Harrison lined up in the neutral zone because he was trying to get over to the right side, but instead of going behind his guys, he went in front of them. We got in the neutral zone, which is the length of the football.
From the 50 now, Cutler throws, and that is caught by Glenn Martinez, and Martinez gets taken down at the 39-yard line, and that is a first down. And now Denver will take a timeout. So they're not that far from Elam's range. The ball is at the 39. They have one timeout left. Sunday Night Football being brought to you by Lincoln Retire, by Ask.com, by American Gangsters starring Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe, and by Marriott, redesigned by business travelers for business travelers. Jason Elam has been the hero in both of their wins this year. They beat Buffalo on a miracle field goal at the end of the game on opening day. Then in the game in which Mike Shanahan called a timeout and Janikowski had made the field goal but had to then make it again, and he missed in overtime, Elam won that game. So we started the night by saying they could be 0-5, but they're not, because they've won 2 games at the end thanks to Jason Elam. And a well-timed Shanahan timeout as well.
And I think a well-called play here by Mike Shanahan would do Jason Elam a lot of good.
Absolutely.
He'll get about 10 more yards.
That's what they'll be looking for. Cutler will throw, and that is incomplete, or no, they're going to say incomplete. Play continued. The whistle came in a little bit late. Daniel Graham never had control of it as the ball hit the grass. It'll be 2nd and 10.
You know, one thing about Mike Shanahan, he's a very aggressive play caller. And I think Jay Cutler is a very aggressive quarterback. And he doesn't need a big window. You know, we talked about that before, how he has a strong arm, a lot of velocity.
He may have caught it.
I think he did catch it.
If he, you know, they can stop this from upstairs if they want to, and they will. All right, take a look at this again. So the key is, does he have control?
We'll reveal the previous play.
I think at first glance they may win this because he's going to have control, and then he is down. He keeps the ball from hitting the turf. He cradles it, has control. Now the question is, as he gets up, he is tackled, contacted by Ryan Clark, which would end the play at that point.
I don't know that he was down by contact, though. There's no contact yet.
He started to put the ball down, and before he does, Clark comes in. What he wants to do is place the ball down so they can get up and run a play without a huddle. So he's trying to put it down. The question is, when did Clark contact him? The whistle was, remember, the whistle didn't come in till late, as we mentioned. Then they signaled incomplete, which is the call. The call on the field is incomplete.
And then the whistle came in when Polamalu was running with the ball to stop him. So I mean, you have a couple things here. One, is it complete or incomplete? And if it's complete, is it a fumble or no fumble?
Well, the rule says the instant you're contacted, that's the end of the play.
Yeah, but he wasn't contacted.
Well, here's the ball. Then here's the contact with the right, with Clark coming in and touching the right arm as Graham is in the process of trying to put the ball down.
Maybe Anthony Smith, 20. Yeah, he does touch him.
Yeah,
he is down. But yeah, he is down.
Well, Smith looks like he touched him before Graham had control of it.
Before, yeah. There's a lot of things to look at here, Al.
A lot of things to look at. I think, from what we know at this particular point, looking at all these replays, I think they're going to rule it a completed catch or completed pass, a catch, and Denver's going to get the gain, I think.
And no fumble, you're saying.
And no fumble. No fumble because they signaled incomplete. So to overturn it, there's no fumble. Because remember, the ruling on the field was that it was incomplete.
Yeah, but if they say it's complete, that's overturning it, right?
If they say it's complete, it's overturning it. But I think the fumble is out of the equation.
Right, and then Anthony Smith touches him with his left hand, but maybe that's before he makes the catch. So maybe he didn't have contact after the catch. So it still could be a fumble.
Yeah, I think the first contact won't matter because it's just before Graham has control. But then there's the first contact right there. He still doesn't have control of the ball at this point.
Right.
Then the hand will come off Smith's hand. he will gain control. There he is controlling it. Then he's touched, and the second he is touched, the instant, that's the end of the play.
Yeah, but before he was touched there, the ball came out, didn't it?
I think the ball was still in his control as he was being touched. Here's Carollo.
After reviewing the play, it was determined that the receiver caught the ball, and he was down by contact at the 30-yard line. It was second down, 1 yard to go.
Very, very close and complicated. But that's exactly the way I saw it, as in terms of that contact came as he controlled the ball and before he lost control of the ball. And of course, it's a huge play.
Well, yeah, I mean, then you get back to that. You know what happens now. Now that is, you know, that puts the ball definitely in Jason Elam's field goal range.
And they have one timeout remaining. Right now, you're looking at about a 48-yard field goal. And of course, they'd like to get considerably closer if they can. They have plenty of time in the sense that they have one timeout. They have 26 ticks, and it's second down and 1. That's a 9-yard completion.
I don't know if there's anyone you'd rather have kicking it than Jason Elam here in Denver.
He's done it for years. Here's Young. So Young tries to pick up the first down. He gets stopped by Polamalu, and they're going to take their chances on Elam from 48 yards. Because the clock's going to run all the way down. They'll take a timeout. I think that's very interesting in the sense, you know, Elam's done it a lot.
48 years.
48. I mean, for him, he's done it, as we say, a number of times, but that's still a pretty good.
Well, you know, that's one thing as a head coach, you always check in the pregame the range of your kicker that night. You check the range going both ways. You talk to him about his range, and I know that Mike Shanahan, he has to feel real good about Jason Elam at 48 yards.
No question, it's within his range. And now, what is Tomlin going to do? Does he pull what Mike did earlier this year by calling the timeout? This has become the in vogue thing. You bring an official over and you say, just before the snap, I want to take a timeout. The coach can do that. So, of course, the downside is you call it, he misses it, then he gets another chance and he makes it. It worked for Shanahan against Oakland. It worked for Oakland the following week. I thought Joe Gibbs might call one today against Arizona, but didn't. Rackers just missed at the end of that game. So let's see what happens here.
Do you think Tomlin will or won't?
I think he won't.
I think he will.
You know what? I've changed my mind. I'm going here. He has that look. 48 yards to win the game. Will he call the timeout? He does.
He called it prematurely, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, the other guys were calling it later to make the kicker kick the ball.
Right.
And now here you don't have to kick it.
Right.
You can read his lips here.
Timeout.
Right there.
Pretty simple.
I think it was a little too soon, though.
It was. I agree with you.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. You know, if they're going to change the rule, that's probably it. I mean, you know, Jason Elam is used to this. I mean, icing the kicker, that's always happened. You get up and you get ready to kick it, then they take a timeout. But, you know, kicking it and then bringing it back and have to do it again is the part of that action that I really don't like.
Andrea.
I talked to Jason Elam pregame, and he said this is actually the better direction for him to kick due to the wind. He said he actually hit a 60-yarder in pregame, so we'll see if he can kick this one through.
Was the Steeler defense out there in pregame?
By the way, if you're thinking, can Tomlin do this again? They have a timeout. You cannot call back-to-back timeouts.
Right.
So this counts. 49 yards. Jason Elam has done it again. That was a good football game.
Now you're talking. That's what you're looking for. This is what you want. I mean, two teams with a lot of pride that when one would go ahead, the other would come back and answer. and a great kicker for a long time, making a big, big kick.
15 years. Jason Elam out of the University of Hawaii. Drafted in the 3rd round in '93. That was a pretty good pick. Very few kickers get picked that high. I think it worked out.
For a long time, and this was a win that this team needed. I mean, they were down. They were kind of downright embarrassed, and I think they got a little upset about it. And like I said earlier, sometimes pride has to fight. You just have to get mad about it. And I think the Broncos did.
Coming off their worst home loss in 41 years. They're right back in the thick of things now. Half a game out in the AFC West. Post-game show coming up from Denver. Broncos win it 31-28.
Uri Geller and Chris Angel.
Cutler and John Lynch. Andrea.
Jay Cutler, you're coming off your worst home loss since 1966. How does the team rebound, especially with a win like this?
It's a big win. I mean, go against an AFC team like Pittsburgh that's playing so well. We had a bye week, and we got it right together. Defense played well. Offense made it happen when we had to. I mean, this is a good team. We've been saying it all along. We've just been in a little bit of a slump, and hopefully this gets us back out of it.
3 touchdowns for 2 interceptions, but what's going through your mind on the final drive?
We're calm. I mean, we've done it before this year, and those guys are confident in me. Line gave me some time, and we just had an opportunity, made some plays. Daniel made a great catch there and set it up, and Jason's money.
All right, Jay, thanks very much. You're trying to make it easy there in the first half, and you end up giving up all these points in the second half. What was the difference with the defense, but enabled you ultimately to hold on?
I told Ben Roethlisberger after the game, he's doing a heck of a job. He's just playing great football. But, you know, we've got to make a stop there. Our offense bailed us out here tonight. But, you know, when you're struggling for a win, you'll take it any way you get it.
You know, your team had lost 3 straight. How important is this, especially to potentially thrust you back into any kind of hopes for the postseason?
Extremely important, because although we're a veteran team, we got a lot of young guys, and you got to have them keep the faith. You can tell them all you want, but you got to have some success. And beating a good football team like this is a good step, and you know, we can climb back in this thing now.
At least the run defense a little bit more secure than it's been, having given up 187 yards coming in, but not tonight.
Well, we've been working plenty hard on it, believe me. We had a bye week, and we tightened some things up, but we got to get even better.
All right, Sean, thanks for the time.
So the Broncos win it. They'll face Green.
And of course, the big up was his